Bros program. You can check them out here on Ironic Radio Network. 8-Bit Bros. That's number 8. Then bit. Then bros. One word. I strongly encourage you to stay tuned for that. And if you want, they also have a Facebook page and a much better live show. Anyway, 8-Bit Bros, 8 p.m., Ironic Radio Network.
It's 8 o'clock, and you know what that means.
What up, people? Welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Bros. It is the early edition. Early in the week, people. You can figure out the day. You're all smart. We do this the same time, same days, every week. We got a great show planned for you this evening. This is not a kid-friendly show. Adult language, adult content. Do the right thing, people. Webby, what should they do?
Put your kids in the closet.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, how do you like that, buddy? How does that feel?
Oh, God.
How does that feel?
I'm listening to 8-Bit Bros.
Yeah. Like Ren said, the early edition. 8-Bit Bros. 8 o'clock. That's now. We're live. Center box gets a square.
What up, people?
To the left, that's me, Webboy. To the right, 846 miles south, the one and only, Thumping Loud. No clue where the top box is tonight as of yet. I'm sure J7 will be here or around at some point. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Not much, brother.
Anybody?
I was in the city. I was in the city yesterday for work.
Oh, yeah? Was there a corporate meeting?
No, I had all those videos that I did all those work on in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Client requested changes to the app, which required reshooting of half the videos.
Again? Isn't that like the third time?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Their money.
It is what it is, but I'll tell you what. New York City, door to door, 36 minutes.
Oh, yeah. The city's dead.
It was a very, very strange and eerie sight. Like, you all know, I work in, like, one of those WeWorks.
Yeah.
My company, myself, the talent I had to shoot, and there was 2 other people from our company on the floor. We were the only company that had people in the building. Outside of that, there were the 2 people that work for WeWork, you know, the community support representatives, if you want to call them that.
Sure.
Went to the deli to buy get lunch. Only thing you could buy was a sandwich. Like, it's usually like a deli where you can go get a made-to-order salad and soup and a griddle where you can get hamburgers and all that. Nope, you can get a sandwich. And here are your choices. A1 through A10.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Blue Moon for some food the other night, and their menu had 10 items on it. That's it. 10 items.
That's the way it is now.
Short menus, which is fine. I mean, you know, it is what it is. At least they're open and serving food. So, City, did you see any mailboxes?
I actually didn't look.
Okay. Question for both of you. Driving around your towns. Ren, I know you drive around here.
I got one right across the street.
Yeah, well, no. No. How many Biden signs have you seen?
None. But then again, I haven't really like. been
You always
looking.
know.
I was gonna
it's
say, I
some-
wonder if your commute's like my commute is right now, because mine is literally I leave my neighborhood, I
Yeah.
get on a main road that is mainly, pretty much all commercial.
Right.
Then I get on the highway, and then when I
Yeah.
get off the highway, it's into industrial.
Okay. Yeah.
So
you're not really in
I'm
any
not
resi-
I'm not in
area.
a lot of residential area to see anything. And like in my neighborhood, have I seen anything pop up yet? No.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of anything. I mean, Trump signs have been around for I don't know how fucking long now.
4 years.
Yeah. I mean, I still see fucking Trump 2016 signs in people's lawns.
I
So
still see the stickers on people's cars. So
Yeah, well, yeah, that's cars. That's different. I mean, we got a friend who's driving around with a Hillary for 2016 and a Biden for I don't know, or someone else before that on his vehicle, even though the vehicle is newer than those elections.
Hmm.
Go figure that one out. But I'm not really seeing any Biden stuff, which I find interesting.
well,
Especially,
considering the state we live in is very blue.
well, I'm traveling to Staten Island, New York, every day.
It's very blue too.
17 straight days now.
New York is blue. New Jersey's blue. I don't know about North Carolina. Are you a blue state or a red state?
I don't know how much
New York is a blue state.
Blue's what? Democrat?
Yes.
Republican. Right. So Blue's
Democrat.
Democrat. So wouldn't there
Yes.
be like Biden signs everywhere?
Not yet, because the convention's going on right now.
Ah, yes. Tonight we have an idiot, a rapist, and a doctor speaking. That'd be AOC, Clinton, and Dr. Jill Biden. Stay tuned for that one, people. If you're tuning into us, make sure you run to your DVR now and TiVo that shit for 9 o'clock. Because that should be interesting.
Yeah, interesting way that they've decided to do the conventions.
Well, comedic relief. Last night was a bit of comedy, except for Bernie Sanders, who I can't help but think,
Drew. What up?
can't help but think he's Sam Eagle still to this day. But anyway, okay, gentlemen, questions for you. Flushing public urinals is now a bad thing. You should wear a mask in a public urinal.
Well, I
do
mean,
that anyway.
I was gonna say it kind of makes sense, because not for anything. Imagine every public urinal that you've ever been into, especially the very tall stand-up ones. When you flush them, there is a lot of splash particulate.
Sure, that is the alarming trend now, I guess. Upward flow of flushing. They saying,
Dude, I've always known, even in your own personal toilet inside your house, you know there's as much as a 25-foot.
yeah. I
Bi-
hate
Like
it.
like when you go science on it. I mean, yeah, your bathroom is one of the craziest places in the world, because you're supposed to be hygienic and biodisposal in the same area, which is weird.
Yeah, I hate urinals. I hate them. I've always hated them. I think it's disgusting. As soon as you fucking stand in front of a urinal, your own urine is just splashing everywhere, and even if you just try and fucking eliminate that, I don't know, cake in there. I don't know why they call them a urinal cake. That's just, I mean, cake's
Well,
supposed to be
you really do everything you can when you go to use a urinal to try and avoid the amount of pee that you end up getting on yourself, just your own pee.
right. And then they tell you, well, you'll wash your hands. Well, what about my fucking legs and my
Yeah,
feet?
every fucking thing else.
my
Like
feet.
urinals are horrible.
It's disgusting. And look, and even in my own house, I'll be completely honest. For the last good 20 fucking years, I sit. Not all the time, but a hell of a lot of the time, I will sit to pee. Call me gay, call me a chick. I really don't give a fuck. But like you said, even in your own house.
Yeah, the splash radius of any toilet, to my understanding, is supposed to be like 25 feet. When you flush it, it's still putting water particulates out to at least on what they say is like sometimes up to 20 feet, 25 feet, and that's crazy. That's also why you see a lot of people separate their toilet. In a bathroom, you'll see a toilet usually always has a divider wall next to it. Like when you go into houses that provide that kind of space,
Yeah, my house had that. A big wall in front of it. Not
Yeah.
a big wall, but then my jacuzzi tub next to
Yeah,
it. So,
houses that provide that kind of space, you usually see a divider between the toilet and the rest of. Because, like I said, a bathroom is a really weird spot in a lot of places because your biodisposal and hygiene are right next to each other, and that
right
is
next to the fucking sink where
that's
you
kind
brush.
of weird when you really think about it.
Yeah, you would think about that the next time you brush your fucking teeth in a bathroom.
Yeah,
Wake up in the
especially
morning,
when you
brush
look
your
right to
teeth.
your left and you see your toilet there, right to your right and you see your toilet there, right next to where you put your toothbrushes.
Yeah, so the study says flushing a urinal shoots particles of water at least 2 feet up into the air
Uh huh.
for at least 6 seconds.
Uh huh.
So
Easily believable.
yes, yes. So now, wearing a mask should be mandatory in public restrooms. I fucking hate urinals. Completely hate urinals. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's what you came in on, Jay. Is like, Webb brought up the fact that like urinals are such a mess, and I wholeheartedly agree. I have for a long time known,
Yeah.
like, and understood. In the toilet in your bathroom, in the flush splash radius on that is also a bit disturbing, and it's like when you really think about it, a bathroom in itself, the way you see in most homes, is really weird. But when you start seeing houses that are able to accommodate for space, you see dividers usually between where the toilet is and the rest of the bathroom.
Yeah, usually the toilet is away from the bathing and washing area.
Right. In
Yeah.
in houses that provide that kind of space.
Right.
You know, but when you look at like standard small homes or apartments or anything like that shit's blop blop blop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like your
Something- oh,
your
something
sink divides your toilet and your shower, and it's like whoa.
something open in my bathroom, so you know how fucking.
yeah, actually, that's true.
But
My sink is my toilet is right next to my sink, and on the other side of my toilet is my shower.
yeah, your bathroom.
Yeah, there's some of those too where it's like the toilet's right in the middle, so it's got good coverage
Yep.
on every clean space that you
Oh
have.
my god.
Man, I hate urinals, and if I gotta out in public gotta pee, I go in a stall and stand like 2.5 feet back from that fucking toilet bowl. Take good aim, hopefully, and then as you're finishing, you start to move closer. But men, first world problems for men right there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
never really thought-
I've seen some other first world
Urinals.
toilets, and some of them are just absurd. And
That's why I'm
I
s-
imagine a lot worse off.
That's why I'm so happy I have one of them toilet bowls that's air assist, so there is very little splashback. Everything gets sucked down immediately. Period. Still, the whole idea of just standing in a urinal and peeing on
I
yourself.
feel like all they would need to do is curve it a little bit, right? So
How about,
that
how about raise it up about 8 inches? What about people like me who are 6'4" and I stand at a toilet bowl in my own house to pee, and it feels like I'm fucking trying to, like, I don't know, shoot hoops or play badminton or something.
You can actually. There is extra talls that are about 4 inches higher.
Yeah.
We have one in our master bath.
I've got well, now that Chase Evans here, I've got 2 technology topics I'd like to discuss.
okay.
First one being Facebook and Oculus.
Yeah.
Facebook and Oculus.
Yeah, the new controller.
No. The fact that in a short amount of time, you will not be able to use your Oculus if you do not log it into Facebook.
Oh, well, they do own Oculus,
Yes, they do.
so I guess that took longer than I thought.
Well, it's gonna take a little.
Yeah,
while.
I'm not very surprised by that. I'm
Yeah.
more.
It's like
Jay's
it's
camp
like the Apple
of-
Fortnite, 1980 Fortnite.
Well, see, now
Mhm.
that was my next one I wanted to discuss, because that touches on a lot of things that I have said from the start were wrong. But I don't like the idea of having to log my Oculus my Oculus VR device into my Facebook account to use it. Now, some games will still work, but others will not.
Right.
Right.
This the final phase of that will take place January 1st, 2023, which is quite a bit away.
Yeah.
But,
A
I
lot of things may
believe-
change in the process of that, so who knows exactly how that path is going to really look by the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm assuming that if I'm not all that happy with the idea of this now, I'm sure a lot of people who actually, well, maybe a lot. I don't know how many people own an Oculus, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to have an issue, take issue with that also.
You know, I was having a discussion with somebody yesterday on how pretty much anyone that I know under the age of, I'm gonna say 25, is
Mhm.
like, fuck Facebook. I'm not logging into it. I don't have a profile. Like, there's abject hatred for Facebook amongst people who are younger.
Sure.
So this may be a play on that. This may be a play to get younger people to start
Yeah,
using.
but by 2023, in all reality, pun intended, VR is going to be a thing of the past.
You think so?
I still think it's
Yeah.
a thing of the past. I think it was.
I think augmented reality will take it over. I think the idea of, I mean, anybody I know outside of the group of people here that are hardcore gamers, they hopped on board with like the HTC Vibe
Mhm.
and all that early on, and I'm pretty positive they don't even touch it anymore. It was like it came, it was cool, you could do some cool games, you could play some cool games, but the general consensus I got from them after a while was one of my biggest fears was the lack of
Content?
the sensory deprivation you have when you're playing an immersive game
Mm-hmm.
is just too much. It's like when they sit down and they want a game and like still be able to have conversation with people. They still want to have conversation with like other people in the room, or if they're playing a game that's a group style game, the idea of having to do my part, take all my shit off, hand it over to the next person, wait for them to get it all situated on them to go continue the next part of the game is just not worth the time.
Right.
You know, they make the similarities to, why can't we go back to the Wii days where you could just literally turn on a controller and it was like, oh, a new person has joined the game. Would you like to include this person in your Mario Party game? Yes, please. And you continue the game on. Like shit like that. Like the feasibility and the usability of it, it may be for some people. I'm not saying it's not, but the people that I know, they'd rather just sit down in front of a TV or their computer monitor or whatever their style of gaming is and game the traditional way where they can be like, oh, I got to go pee and get up and go pee and not have to spend 2.5 minutes disrobing from
Yeah.
VR to go take a leak.
It's
Yeah.
To come back, to put it all back on, to jump back in the game with their friends. It's like it's a hassle.
God,
I
There's
come
something that makes sense. I actually experienced that myself. Like maybe not recently actually, maybe I'm gonna say 3 years ago. Me and a couple of friends had a PS, whatever the PlayStation one was, the PlayStation VR thing.
yeah.
I loved it. I did not love the way in which we had to like trade places. You know, like if I wanted to play a game with somebody, they were like off somewhere to the side, kind of watching what I was doing and not having the same immersive experience that I was having. Meanwhile, I was like, oh my God, this is nuts. I freaking love this. And they couldn't see what I was seeing. They were seeing something else. They were seeing, like, I guess, a 2D version of what I was seeing. You know? So you may be onto something there.
Thump.
my encounters with VR comes through the Ohio guys, members of the Angry Dandelion, and where I see it being relegated to, and where I see it being probably still around for a little while, but just as a very niche market thing, is these guys play space simulators. These guys play flight simulators. These guys play racing simulators. And in that market, that's something they look forward to is when it's finally adapted to the VR. Now they
Mhm.
do both agree that it is a limited experience thing that you really don't want to spend all day gaming in VR. It's not one of the.
Right.
It's not on that level to where that's where you want to be. They like getting out of it. It is a little inconvenient to have to like get out of it and then do this and then do something else. You can go back and watch some of the Angry Dandelion gaming VODs during the day and see Sown in his VR setup and then what it is to get set up to do things and
Mhm.
trying to make sure that captures are right and other things are right and doing all the stuff and um, the not having the in and out of his PC compatibility to where he can do things on his desktop while still being in VR, where he's got to pop out for that and to do other stuff and it all is part of the equation, but it is very niche for a lot of people and seems to be a very popular thing currently on Twitch is VR chat,
Mhm.
which is like basically take old school AOL chat rooms and then now they're VR places where people get them. I mean, people act like they're in AOL chat.
And it's funny you talk about flight sims and space simulators and shit like that for VR because
Well,
um,
any simulator of that nature, like the
well, yeah, well,
racing, the flight, the space, like all of that.
I mean, I've been reading in the Reddits and other places, the VR Reddits and other places, they are fucking dying for Microsoft's new flight simulator.
To go VR, yeah.
Well, that's out of the box with VR support, and the first device and the device at launch that it will support 100% will be HP's Verb,
I think
Reverb,
it.
Reverb, HP's
Reverb?
yeah, HP's Reverb, which blows everybody else's device off the fucking market. Period. It's the only one out there that's 4K. The only one. Their HTC, the Oculus, and Valve's, I don't remember what that's called. That support will come later on, but straight out of the box, Microsoft's Flight Sim 2020 will be VR out of the box. And I know that's like, there are the die-hard VR people like, oh my God, I cannot wait for September, which is only weeks away now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like literally 2 weeks away.
so Giant Waffle is currently playing Microsoft Flight Simulator,
Yeah, he's got
and it's launch day today.
today's launch day?
Yes.
Thought it
Wow.
was-
That's impressive.
I thought it was
But he's
September.
been landing. He's been landing at F1 tracks all day. Like that's what they've been doing, finding the closest airport to every F1 track, flying to that airport, and then going and checking out the F1 courses.
Right.
The
Okay.
funny thing is when you land at an F1 course, it looks like the course from the sky, but it's all grass when you get down onto the track.
Oh,
It just
interesting.
looks like asphalt from up
Uh,
at 3,000 feet.
Do you remember when they fucking banned Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Oh yes, very much so. But
2000.
this is what everybody's been doing today. Like Andy Milanakis is doing it. If I'm not mistaken, I think Summit was doing it a little earlier. He's not doing it now. Like there's just been a ton of people that have been playing it all day, like that are all about it. But yeah, it is. It is like game of the day, right? Like motherfuckers is really, really, really digging it.
For anybody
But
out
that's
there.
that's what Waffle's been talking about all day, though, is that like they can't wait for VR
Yeah.
to be.
For anybody out there who is questioning HP's foray into this VR market, keep in mind that the HP Reverb is been designed with a partnership with Valve.
Yeah, that makes it it's the Steam visors.
Yes. Yeah, this is. Well, I don't know if you've seen this one yet, but it's pretty fucking cool. Again, I'm not a
Mhm.
big VR guy, but the fact that they've jumped to 4K with it definitely gives you better depth of field. And
Well, it still takes like we're still in that same loophole of you've got to have people that are making content that fit the criteria. So
Exactly.
it's kind of a if they're not making 4K content for VR, then it's worthless. But
Yeah. Well, Microsoft right out of the box VR
well, yeah,
with Flight Sim.
but only for one single setup, and
Well,
that's
for now.
why everybody is talking about they want
Yeah.
VR.
For now. I mean, I think it was Polygon who reported that, well, first reported, I believe, HTC, Oculus, and Valve. I mean, sure, it was really Microsoft who reported it first since they made the fucking game, but HTC, Oculus, and Valve's own devices will work within a couple of weeks. Their focus was HP. I guess maybe they fucking had a little deal with them too. Who knows?
Had to have been like a day one exclusive type thing, or either that was the company that they worked with just during development of the VR system.
So Thump mentioned the Fortnite deal, and I want to start this conversation by saying
1980 Fortnite.
when Apple first talked about an app store, I had said flat out that sooner or later this would become a disaster. Apple's original plan was to charge a small, minute amount of money to keep it on the up and up, which I agreed with. They're going to create an ecosystem to drop games in, devices that at that time was semi-secure. Most people don't understand that or don't know how to go into their settings to let games or applications install from outside of an approved store. Well, in my opinion, Apple flat out lied. They've made $555 billion through the App Store, and developers are starting to get a little pissed about it.
Well,
And
what?
one,
Hold on. What really pissed them off? It's not about them charging up front, and that's not what they've made their money on. What they've made their money on is the fact that they said that every one of these games that is going to have in-app purchases has to link their accounts so that Apple is getting a percentage of that in-app purchase as well.
30%.
And that percentage is pretty high.
Yeah,
30,
that's where they
30,
fuck. That's where they fuck
That's
these developers.
where,
30%.
Yeah,
pay
that's where they
$99.
fuck the developers. It's not the initial install because Microsoft. That's what everybody gave Microsoft a bunch of shit for on the Xbox was because in order to put a game on Xbox and in order to update a game on Xbox, it was $10,000 of fucking time you wanted to touch your program within the Microsoft ecosystem. Now
That's
you're
right.
seeing indie developers make a major push to Microsoft because Microsoft finally opened the doors on that end of the program to allow developers to just update their fucking games. And that's all, and that's essentially what this is Apple double dipping on like, oh well, every bit of money you make I have to make.
30%.
30%.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
just
chunk.
want to point out that you guys are right. That, the Apple is definitely double dipping and they're charging. I mean, that's a significant chunk of money. 30% of whatever you make, right?
Come on, let us not forget that Google does the same thing. It's 30%.
Google does the same thing. That's
Yes.
true. Okay. I just want to point out that Epic,
Doesn't
they're
need-
not a little guy.
Nope.
Like, they're not necessarily going over here like, oh no, we're not going to be able to keep making Fortnite if Apple keeps taking 30%. They make billions of dollars off
Yes.
of just one game.
Right.
Yep.
And they knew that they were the person to put their foot in the sand and go, okay, now what?
Well, see,
Whatever.
okay, so I
It's,
have
you
really
know, it's
I
one
have no
billionaire
real.
Another billionaire. Fuck them both, honestly.
I have no opinion either way.
Right.
Because it's really like law of economics. So, granted, if Apple's sitting here saying, and Google's sitting here saying, and I don't know what Microsoft charges per transaction within their Microsoft store. I don't.
Nothing.
I honestly don't. I can't include them in this equation, so I won't. But
Zero. They have like 18 apps in their store. They charge nothing.
no, not their mobile store. I'm saying like Xbox. Like when you go and purchase an indie game and you spend $9.99 on it, what is Microsoft taking as a cut?
I can look that up. It's a 1-year contract now.
All right, so I don't have a feeling either way because at the end of the day, if you're taking 30% and the developer's getting 70%, less whatever their other costs are, they're still getting the lion's share of the money being spent by you or I when we purchase an app, whether it's an in-app purchase, whether it's a upfront app purchase, whatever. The developer's still taking the lion's share. So if it's a $7 game, Apple's taking $3 and they're taking $4, it's 70%, right?
Right.
So
then over
everyone's coming at Apple going, well, here's the problem. They have a monopoly, so on and so forth. And yes, Apple's made whatever the number you threw out there, $5.2 billion or $500 billion, whatever it is.
500 billion. It's like half a trillion.
Okay, now how much money did they actually make the developers on the flip side of that argument?
Exactly.
But how did they make the developers any money? They forced the developers to lose money. Because the only way, wait, time out. The only way to install this game is through your official
App Store.
App Store.
It's
Google
a
does the
full
same thing.
system. I mean, they
Yeah.
didn't lie about it.
No,
Nothing's up front. And Apple's argument against Epic is you agreed to this when you signed up to install and download your game through
and Epic
this, and Google said the same thing. You agreed to pay this up front on every purchase, whether these people are spending 99 cents every 10 minutes because they need coin, or they're dropping $99 once a month because they want coin or new skins or what fuck ever your app has to offer. We don't care. We have to pay and maintain and upkeep our server farms and everything else that goes into having a space for you to store your app and play your app and do all this crap. So I honestly, I don't really have an opinion, but I don't blame Apple because it's a law of economics.
Okay.
You of all people should be right here going, I don't really think Apple's wrong.
Well,
I don't really think Apple's wrong because they're giving 70% of the purchase. Like, if it were 50-50, hey, you can put your app on my store, but I'm taking 50% of the cut, I'd have a problem with that.
But here's the problem I have with it, is the original wording was it's going to be a microscopic charge for us to run an app store.
But does that matter if the agreement that they gave these developers actually had a different language? Like maybe the language that they had 10 years ago or whatever said one
30%.
thing. But the agreement that's in place with the developers now does not say that. And again, Epic is not a little guy. It's not like Apple went over there like, hey, sign this agreement and, don't look at it too hard. I'm sure
every
Apple
single one of
had
these
a bunch of
agreements went through legal teams.
a bunch of lawyers looking at it. They're not a little guy at all. And you know what? Epic is like, if you've seen the what do you call it, Fortnite 1984 or whatever video that they produced and came out with.
It was epic.
It's like, stand up for developer rights. It's like, why the fuck should I stand up for your rights? You're a massive, massive business. Like, fight your own battles. I don't get pulled into this.
Here's a question for you then. Okay, so let's take this. I can take this a couple different ways, and I will. You bought your phone, paid $1,000, $1,000 for this phone. Why am I at the mercy of someone else to tell me how to use it? Why can't I go to Fortnite?
Were you aware of what you were purchasing?
It's not the point. The point here is it is. I have a phone that's supposed to be able to do everything, but Google says, no, you can't install anything unless you get it from us. This isn't even a Google phone. Samsung.
It's Google's operating system, though.
So
Their
what?
ecosystem.
So what? And I'm paying licensing for that. Or Samsung is. But the end user, I can't go to Fortnite and download the Fortnite.com, install on my phone. Oh, you want to install it? Sure, let's go. We'll go take it to the Google store. Why?
Well, Okay,
Why?
so a couple of things there. The
Wait a
first
second.
thing
Wait,
is
because
that
Google
if
says,
you have an Android device,
Yeah.
you actually can download third-party.
again, you and I know how to do that. Your grandmother, not so much.
Well, okay,
Yeah, but
so
my
that's
grandma's
between
not gaming
us.
on her
I
phone
don't
either like
I
that. So
can't do anything
Oh,
about
okay, okay, Thump. And I know you don't have kids, but do you want to unlock your phone for your 9-year-old?
my 9-year-old would
Okay.
probably unlock the
So
phone
you can.
themselves.
There's a couple of differences here. In an Android device, you actually can legally, without doing anything special,
Right, you go to your
download
settings.
third-party apps. You can
Yes.
do that.
You have to
It's
go
an
to your
open
settings.
system, and you
Right.
can. Yeah, you have to know how to do it. But if you can't use your phone, that's your fault.
The point is, okay, my point is, out of the box, that's against the rules. They give
No,
you the
it's
option.
not.
And
Not
to do
for
it,
an Android device.
why not? To do it, you have to turn on developer mode. You
On
just,
an Android device?
oh, yeah.
No, you can
Yes.
actually just go straight to the Epic store and download the third-party package, and it'll install.
No, you can't.
Okay, fine, but you're not voiding anything. Like they're not
For me
stopping
to
you
install,
from doing
for
it.
me to install DraftKings to bet legally on my phone, I had to turn on developer mode and allow third-party application install. Developer mode.
Okay, well, I think that's primarily the reason people get Androids, because it's an open system.
Well,
You're able to do that.
And you can do the same thing on a fucking Apple phone too. You can go in and
You
tell
can, but on an Apple, it actually voids your warranty.
it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in other words, somebody else is telling you how to use a device you paid for. Sorry,
Well,
you
okay,
just bought that brand
it's
new
your
car.
fault
You
because
can't.
you are
you
not
bought a
educated
car,
on what
you
you're
can't go-
buying. That's your fault.
You bought a brand new car. You can't go through green lights.
Did someone tell you that you couldn't go through green lights?
Sure, it's right there when you bought the car. You signed the
And did
paper.
you sign the
wait,
agreement?
so you bought a car knowing you couldn't
So
go
you
through
bought
green
a
lights?
car and signed
No,
an
you didn't
agreement
know
that told
that.
you couldn't
Oh,
go
so
through
you didn't
lights?
read the
That's your
agreement.
fault.
You didn't know that. You just signed for it. Oh yeah, here's my credit card. Buy it. Okay.
Okay, you're stupid because
I'm
you
not-
just gave somebody your credit card and signed an agreement and didn't read it.
What you did? You did the same thing when you bought your phone.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you
I
said,
actually knew what I was buying.
but you read the 94-page EULA that tells you how you can
No,
you can't use
actually,
your phone.
I didn't read the EULA,
Alright,
but I did
alright.
do research on the operating system
My-
and what it could and could not do.
My point is they're telling you what you can and can't do so that you're safe. Now, I was never a fan of any of these app stores because why can't I just download from where I fucking want? Everyone wants a piece of the pie. I get it. Now, here's the problem, and this is why this gets even worse. You were so worried about the little guy. Epic's not a little guy. Well, what about all the little guys who are affected by this? Apple will ban any and every app that uses the Unreal Engine now because Epic owns the Unreal Engine.
Did they say they were doing that?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
So, me or Thump or Ren, who's developing a game and can actually license the Unreal Engine for $1 from Epic, $1.
And it's such a great engine that a lot of developers use it too.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's used by a lot of people.
The best engine on the face of the planet right now. They
Yeah.
beat out DICE hands down. The only thing DICE has over anybody else is real world destruction. That's it. Everything else is way better in the Unreal Engine. So if you're a little guy, now you can't publish your own game because you're licensing Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
So it's not just Epic at this point. Because of the greed, it's now
Well, like I
trickling
said,
down.
Epic was the one who was big enough to be able to put their foot down
Yes.
and make enough of a ripple. That's really what it comes down to. It is a powerhouse telling another powerhouse, guess what? We're not playing this way no more. Other people deserve better. And that's all it comes down to. Because Epic's proved it with their store. What's the Epic contracts to put something in the Epic store? Because to my understanding, they actually are leading the industry right now to compete with Steam on the ability to provide games to the gamer PC market.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They launched store in 2018.
I don't.
Like to my understanding, their developer contracts are way better, and that's why people are putting the games over on the Epic Store.
Epic Store takes 12%.
Ta-da!
The reason why Epic opened their own store is because they were in bed with Valve at the time, and
Right.
Valve was taking 30%.
Right. This is why
Well-
Steam was the problem. Steam was the problem, and so Epic stuck their foot in the sand there and has turned around and decided to stick their foot in the ground in front of another giant corporation.
Oh, and by the way, if you develop a game-
Giant two corporations.
Well,
If
this
you-
is
Yeah.
Two of the largest corporations on the planet,
Yeah,
part
exactly.
of FANG.
Yeah, multi-trillion fucking dollar companies. By the way, with Epic Store, they will take 12% of your revenue. But if you build a game that uses their software, Unreal Engine or others, they waive the 5% fee.
You know what this is? Remember the whole thing with Disney and Spider-Man
Yeah.
and
And Sony.
This
It was
is
Disney,
just
Spider-Man, and
like
Sony. Yes.
Yeah.
This is one big company telling another company to fuck off,
Yep.
and the other company being like, "Hey, we're doing it for you guys. They're trying to take your Spider-Man away from you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should tell them. Go tell them that you don't want that."
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening here.
Yes.
well, And Disney's what? Fuck you and fuck Spider-Man, and we really don't give a shit. How about that?
And then Sony was like, "We were just kidding. Here's Spider-Man."
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you this. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward 2 weeks now,
Okay.
and Epic does nothing, and doesn't appease Apple, doesn't appease Google. They
Right.
do nothing. They're just like, fine, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Apple.
Who do
takes
you
every-
think?
Yeah.
Who do you think blinks first?
What, Epic
think
or one
Epic-
of these super
Epic
corps?
or Google or Google and Apple? Because Google and Apple are both charging the same amount of a percentage of cost.
Epic will win.
So why do you
Epic
think Epic will win?
because what they'll do is exactly what they did 3 days ago. They had a little mini event in their game where everybody could find the fucking movie screen and watch a movie, and at the end of it, it was hashtag free Epic. Okay? In 3 days, they'll probably have another little
Free Epic.
free Epic. They'll probably have another little mini game or mini event inside there that shows you exactly how to disable the protection on your phone
It-
to download it from their store.
This is them coming up with their own OS is what it is. It's
Okay,
them building
so
an
is-
OS to become
Is-
the
is
other guy.
Is the real crux of this the fact that people are bored with playing Fortnite and their user numbers are going down? And they're trying to do something to make
Maybe.
themselves relevant.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
Bro, if you look at Fortnite numbers now compared to last summer, they've got to be down.
Now they're up. Everybody's fucking home. Their numbers are through the roof. Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't know this, people, kids, well, if you're a kid, you shouldn't be fucking listening to this show. But this also affects the number 2 game in the fucking world, Rocket League.
Oh, yeah.
Fortnite's got 120K viewers right now, where Modern Warfare's got 175K. Fucking Fall Guys, the epic game that it is fucking carrying 163. This is Twitch numbers.
Hold on, I got your Fortnite charts right here.
Oh,
Where's
20
stats?
and a year ago when Ninja was playing and every athlete was playing it, you had numbers that you were probably seeing somewhere in the neighborhood of
Yeah,
a
well,
half a million.
we're definitely
Okay,
not
here's
during
numbers.
peak. We're definitely not during peak time to be checking current analytics over here. Their
gonna give-
numbers are definitely higher when your big boys are streaming. Oh, speaking of big boys and streaming, is
Yeah,
Doc
you want-
on right now?
You want the stats? I'll give you
That's
epic.
disrespect? On what?
Oh, he's on YouTube.
He's on YouTube.
Oh, he's on YouTube. Okay.
Fortnite statistics. Game launch, August 2017, 1 million users. December 2017, 30 million. January 8th, 2018, 45 million. June 2018, 125 million. November 2018, 200 million. March 2019, 250 million. May 2020, their last known public stats, 350 million.
Are those installs or daily active users?
Registered users Fortnite worldwide.
Registered users. You have a Fortnite account. I have a
No, I
Fortnite
don't.
account.
No, I don't.
Thump
No, I
has a
don't.
Fortnite account.
I do not
Jay
have
has a Fortnite
I
account.
do not have
Do you
Fortnite.
play Fortnite? You count into their numbers though.
Not me.
So how real? No, my point is, how real are you? Can take install numbers and put it out there all you fucking want. Those install numbers don't necessarily correlate to money being spent in a store. Does
I
not
think
correlate
a
to
more
people
reliable
actively playing the game.
Yeah, a more reliable way is concurrent players, which
Or
is how.
DAU.
Yeah,
Daily active users.
DAU is something that would be very relevant because
I mean, that's how we judge
Let's see.
Twitter. That's how we judge Instagram. That's how we judge Facebook. All the social medias, their Wall Street numbers are always measured on DAU. How many daily active users do you have using your app?
I'm trying to pull that
Yeah.
right now. Everything is comparing it to fucking PUBG.
that it's on
And if
that
those
level of
DAUs
downturn.
if
Yeah.
those DAUs are down compared to where they were a year ago, this is a money play because they can't. They're basically saying we're in over our heads and we can't afford to pay Apple and Google 30%. We need all the money we can fucking get right now because we have nothing in the pipeline. We have no next great game. This was it. And now
Yeah, but I
it's
don't
not
think as a game
popular as it was
developer,
anymore.
I don't think as a game developer that they're really hitting too hard on that as an issue. That's like
Are they
saying
saying
Valve gives a
that's
shit
the
about
key?
game development anymore. Valve
Yeah.
hasn't made a game for how long?
Yeah, right.
Oh my
Okay, so
God.
let's not talk like if we're gonna compare them to what they really are currently in the market. Fuck Fortnite. Why do they need to continue their mainstay on Fortnite? Valve didn't continue their mainstay on fucking Left 4 Dead.
Or Half-Life.
Yeah, or Half Life. Like
Half-Life.
it's not something that they needed to worry about. Half Life, like what? They kept people baited on the fact there might be another one, and it never
Yeah.
fucking happened. And then all right, so now their Steam is one
And
of the
they've done the
biggest
same
fucking
thing with
things that's
Left 4
ever
Dead.
fucking existed, and Epic wants to be that guy too. So they went after that market. And now that they've got their own game market development, like that's more what it's about. It's not about that game. It's not about Fortnite. This is about that Epic Game Store and them not wanting to surrender all the dollars that should be coming through an Epic Game Store.
That and they understand what it costs to create an ecosystem like that, and they want every fucking penny they can get. They don't want to pay Google. They don't want to pay
That's right.
Apple. They
That's
didn't
right.
want to pay Steam, so they broke away from that. This is like the same thing again, which is why I honestly think they won't capitulate. Maybe 6 months from now, if things get dire, they'll capitulate and take what they can get. But I don't see Apple or Google. They're not going to change their policies and give Fortnite an exception. They didn't give Netflix an exception. And that went away just as quickly as it came. And they're not going to do that because it would literally set a precedent. If you
Right.
want to go after Apple for any competitive practices because they created an ecosystem where you could safely go and download a game and know it's bug-free on your phone, and Google doing the same thing, and they staffing the services department to make sure the games are bug-free and the games are supposed to operate the way they're supposed to operate and they don't have bad code in them and spyware and all of that shit, and they have to pay those people to do those jobs, who is really the shame on? It's economics. We're giving you 70% of the purchase. I don't give a shit if it's 70 cents on the dollar or not. You're still getting 70 cents on the dollar. If your overhead's more than that, is that my fault or is that poor planning on your part?
Right.
I'm taking my 30% to run my business. And I'm
Right.
not speaking just from Apple. I'm speaking for Google as well because they're doing the same thing.
This goes even deeper. Goes even deeper than you know or realize. Unreal Engine has its own developers account. The reason why it has its own developer account is because when you decide to license Unreal Engine, you get their developer account access code so that you don't have to fucking compile or build across your own shit. Got access, you have the libraries, it's right there. Okay? What's the largest TV show on the face of the planet that uses Unreal Engine to make its TV show?
Isn't it Mandalorian? They're
Oh,
using Unreal.
Bing, bing, bing. Where's my fucking bell button? I don't know where it is. Here you go. Mandalorian, Disney Plus. So now we're going to take Disney Plus down with Mandalorian.
I don't think it goes that far.
It does. I'm just telling you, because at the end of this month, Apple is shutting down Unreal's developer accounts. Bye-bye. August
So?
28th. Bye-bye. Disney hasn't even finished filming fucking Mandalorian, let alone started putting it into Unreal Engine. Guess what? No more Mandalorian for now, unless they switch over to, or what, back to SGI?
Well, I'm not sure I understand. You're saying they're discontinuing
Apple?
Unreal? Oh,
Apple?
So
Apple.
I have the article here. The new legal battle between game developer Epic and iPhone maker Apple continues to heat up as Epic says Apple will be cutting off from developer platform for Mac and iOS before the end of the month.
August
Epic
20
wrote in a court filing that Apple said its membership in the developer program will be terminated as of August 28th.
Mhm.
According to Epic, Apple's move threatens not only Fortnite, but also every game that uses Unreal Engine. By
Mhm.
August 28th, Apple will cut off Epic's access to all development tools necessary to create software for Apple's platforms, including the Unreal Engine Epic offers to third-party developers, which Apple has never claimed violated any Apple policies, Epic says.
Yes.
If your membership is terminated, you may no longer submit apps to the App Store, and your apps still available for distribution will be removed, the letter said.
Yeah.
Okay. Please hold before comment. There's an update today.
Yes.
Apple responded to Epic's late Monday night, effectively telling developer that all the problems can go away if it removes the rule-breaking alternative payment system from Fortnite.
Mhm.
The problem Epic has created for itself is
Motley
one that
Fool.
it can easily be remedied if they submit an update to their app that reverts and complies with the guidelines they agree to and which apply to all developers.
Yeah.
Apple said, "We very much want to keep the company as part of the Apple Developer Program and their apps on the App Store. We won't make an exception for Epic because we don't think that's right to put their business interests ahead of the guidelines that protect our customers."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Motley Fool.
Yeah.
Title of this article
Ars
is
Technica.
Apple is going Apple is going thermonuclear on Epic Games. The implications go much deeper than just Epic. You basically just reiterated that for me, and
But
thank you.
you're saying that it's
Yeah,
about.
but that's not gonna that's
not
not
the
gonna
sub-
affect Mandalorian.
Yeah,
The
that's gonna
implications
affect
are
people
vast.
who are
Okay,
using-
okay. I'll finish the article for you. The implications are vast. Creative professionals that use Mac and Unreal Engine to create all sorts of content beyond iOS and Mac apps could be adversely impacted. Unreal Engine is increasingly being used across other medium platforms, including movies and television. For example, Disney uses Unreal Engine in its hit Disney Plus show The Mandalorian. Other applications include biomedical research, academic curriculums, and virtual reality, among many others. Apple is removing it from their platform, period. Period. No developer tools. Where do you build your shit, bro? Do you build it on a
Okay, I'm
phone?
just saying that people who use it to do other things.
Yeah, and
I
where do you,
know that I feel like I'm not doubting your reading comprehension skills. I'm just saying that that is taking it a little bit far, saying that people who are using Unreal Engine for other purposes are going to be affected because Apple is barring developer accounts for software.
Hold on,
like that.
Webb. Hold on. All right, where I think you're kind of misunderstanding what Webb's saying actually at this point is with Disney using Unreal more than likely in their office on a Mac because that's how film development is primarily done. Am I right, Ren? It's on a Mac.
Depends.
So if you're using
50-50.
Unreal on a Mac, you will not be able to make your movie. That's what he's saying. If you're using Unreal on a Mac, you will not be able to make your movie.
Once the CA certificate is revoked,
That's it.
it becomes invalid.
Right.
in
And
not-
that's how it affects them, not as going, oh, your shit can't be published because you used. They can't
Right,
make it because they are actively using
Yep.
Unreal
Yeah, I
Engine
see
to
what you mean.
develop it on, more than likely, in most cases, Mac OSs.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's
You're right.
It's huge.
That's
It
true.
goes, it goes
Um,
very deep. It goes very deep.
That's
the
why I
problem.
say I think you were just misunderstanding a little bit of what he was saying. Like,
Yeah, I was, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, when it comes, I mean, the only thing I will say is when it comes to film development, yes, Apple does have their hands within the film development community,
70%.
but is it really that high?
It's
PC,
70%.
like
I was gonna say more like 50-50 because a lot of people are
No.
moving over to Smoke and all that, which are
Cross-
PC only apps.
Yeah.
Some of it's
Like,
cross.
if
Like
you
moving
listen
over to
to-
Smoke.
well,
and
we knew
these other
Apple
compositing
currently
apps.
had a higher. Apple had a
like,
higher
if you
market value in that
know
department
you're a
before.
Creator, and and you're like, if you are actually a 3D artist working on The Mandalorian right now, and you know that you're still doing some post work for the new season's coming out in October, I heard, and I heard it was already finished, but
Yeah, that's right.
whatever. If you happen to still be working on this, then you're going to be affected. So you could just be like, hey,
Start to migrate.
buddy,
I
Mr.
don't-
Eisner, can I get a PC over here since my Mac is not going to run the software I need?
I don't know. I don't know this 100%, and you are correct. Filming, and I say that in quotes. Filming is done.
Yeah, post production
that's
where they
just-
actively use
Yeah.
the software data.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just filming. I mean, you got to remember that 80% of that movie. There's only 12 actors in it, but there's how many fucking characters running around on the screen at any given time? That's all
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
That's
They're
all-
probably still doing post work at this
Yeah,
point.
well,
yeah, which is all actively inside of
Well, they're
Unreal
doing-
Engine.
They do because it's a TV show. They're doing post up until about 3 weeks before the episode drops. So it's a rolling cycle of things
Yeah.
that are occurring. Like when you watch a show like NCIS on CBS, that episode finished being edited 2 weeks before.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then it went through
Sometimes.
legal, and then it went through that, and then it was dropped. Unless, like, some of the shows that we all watched when the pandemic happened, a lot of the shows were like, we were going to show this episode, but it kind of hits too close to home during this pandemic, so we've edited out some of the parts, or they're putting a disclaimer in front of it, or something along those lines. Like, that shit might happen, but when it comes to, like, TV, there's always a 2-week lead time.
Right.
Show needs to be done, needs to go to distributors, needs to be compressed and composited and put in whatever fucking format they need to put it in to be displayed all over the world, because it might drop here on a Monday, but it could be in the UK on a Sunday night.
Right, which is where Disney doesn't really find they could be affected by this, but for them it's also still one of those moments where they could just step to the side, migrate everything over to PC within their facility and call it a day. And I think stuff like that, if you start to see a mass migration, though, this does in a way kind of end up hurting Apple in the long run, possibly. Because
Google.
if all the
Potentially, and
development
Google.
if all the development ships, Google's going to love it though. Because Google
really.
Google will probably be the one that'll sit there and go, maybe we'll
20%.
take a little bit less.
Yeah,
And then they bring the software back over to their side, and they make themselves a bigger player later on down the line, as where they weren't in the hardware development really, as Apple is.
I honestly see the way this shakes out is this will turn into, I don't want to say as large of an antitrust case as the Microsoft antitrust case was, but I can see this turning into Apple having to spin out services or hardware or something along those lines, because for a company that was dead 19 years ago, 19 years ago, Apple was dead.
Yeah.
They were
Microsoft.
dead in the water. Microsoft saved them by injecting some cash because they knew they needed them for the competitive landscape to fend off any potential monopoly that might come around.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it didn't work in their favor, but I'm pretty sure Apple did defend them by saying, "Hey, we got Office on Mac over here."
That's exactly what the deal was. We give you the cash and we get our apps in your ecosystem. End of story.
Right. We'll develop them. You just gotta
Yeah.
sell them and do whatever. I
Mhm.
honestly think I don't see this changing. I could honestly also see a judge going to Epic. Well, you signed a legal document. This went through your legal team. There's nothing wrong with this legal document agreement that you signed. Either change your app or go pound salt.
That's right.
You
I
get
don't,
nothing and like it.
Right.
I don't disagree with that statement at all.
But it
Because
does move.
as
It
Jay
does have a
said in
lot
the
of moving
beginning-
parts.
As Jay said in the beginning, you know damn well when before Epic signed any fucking contract to give Apple 30%, it went through legal aid to lawyer number 1 to paralegal number 2 to lawyer number 2, all the way up the food chain to head counsel of Epic Games, and every single one of them went, all right, check,
I will
we're
say
good.
this. I will say this, and I can fucking guarantee you, I would put my life on this, that Epic's lawyers are sitting back and reviewing word for word everything Tim Cook said in front of Congress 1 month ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
if Epic doesn't get some sort of resolution that is good for the industry, not just them, because they are kind of fighting for the industry here, they will probably turn to look to see if there was any kind of perjury. They've already outlined that by them saying, what did Tim Cook say, that they've never bullied a company? Yeah.
Did he say that? Yeah. Okay.
I believe those are the words. Yeah. Apple has never bullied a company. We do not retaliate or bully people. It is strongly against our company culture. Now, if you want to call this bullying, I'm
By
not gonna
suspending any Unreal user.
Right, I'm not going to.
That's it's kind of aggressive, for sure.
Depends on how a
But
lawyer.
how aggressive? How? Okay, if you were the individual that you were like, you felt, I had to deal with Webby, and the business arrangements that Webby and I had signed in our contract was, look, bro, you develop the software. I will gladly go out there, peddle it for you, but it's going to cost you 30% of every sale. That's my commission.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, Webby's like, oh, wow, my overhead's gotten so much larger, and I could really use 80%. Let me go talk to Ren and see if, we can come to an agreement
Right.
where he'll take a little less, and maybe I can end up at 25. You're always like, go big and then try and hope you end up with half of what you want, just like with salaries and all that. And I say to Webb, no, we have a signed agreement. It's for 5 years, and you're paying me 30%. And Webb's like, no, I don't like that. And it goes back and forth. All of a sudden, Webby takes me to court because he feels that it's unjust that I'm taking 30% of his $100 app because he needs more money to develop more, hire more developers, take care of his overhead, whatever it may be. What is a judge going to say? You have an agreement, it's 5 years, and go pound salt, or I can't help you with this. You signed a legal binding document.
Does anybody know?
And if our government literally sits here and looks at Apple and goes, no, you're wrong, you have a monopoly, that's going to be really fucked up considering their sound business practices. And Google's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So if only one's charging 30%, and because we've got to remember, when Google first opened its Play Store, it was doing a sliding scale based on how much the app cost.
Yes.
It could 10% up to 30%, and then Google came out 2 years later and said, you know what? We're taking 30% because they saw the amount of money Apple was making in the App Store. It's still known to this day and age, more money is sent through Apple's App Store than it's sent through Google's Play Store.
Sure, $558 billion last year.
People that own iPhones are more inclined to pay for an app or pay for an in-app purchase than people on Android are.
But you should see my fucking app, my Google account. I can fucking definitely dispute those claims.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still, you
Left
know
for-
what?
what-
To go
yeah.
with Bren's analogy here, if Bren, if Webby was, you know, a little guy, like somebody who was like, oh, I wasn't sure what we were getting into. I thought that we had agreed on this, and I didn't really have a chance to read it carefully. If I was a judge, I'd be maybe a little more lenient.
I wouldn't.
Be like,
I would have been like, you didn't read the legal document that you signed? Whose fault is that? Get out.
what I'm trying to say is the wiggle room that you might have by capitalizing on pathos is not here. Like, it's a giant corporation versus another giant corporation arguing about billions and billions of dollars and throwing their weight around. It's like, it's ridiculous. They should just, if you sign a contract, you should just adhere by it and just do that. And on the other side, Apple really, I don't know that the whole thing with banning every Unreal developer out there.
But you got to understand, this is how much, again, we're being told what mainstream media is telling us. Like, yes, I'm sure Apple put that threat out there, but at the end of the day, who does this fall on? It falls on the guy who's bitching about a contract that he signed.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So what is Apple to do? Oh, just sit there and say nothing and just be like, oh, well, you can't have your app on the App Store. And just keep saying, no, you can't have your app on the App Store. We're not changing for you. No, they need to up the rhetoric a little bit, going, hey, man, you want to fuck all your users? Go ahead and fuck all your users. You're the one fucking your users because you signed this document. It's just like every lawyer coming after you, me, her, Thump, and saying, you owe us money for back rent. No, I don't owe you that money. I moved the fuck out. You moved out early. You owe us $4,500. No, I don't. I moved out. I was gone.
Maybe
you re-rented that apartment. You got your money, but you had a lease. You had a signed contract. We want our money, and we'll come get it one way or the other. It's the same difference, bro.
Yeah, but maybe what you're forgetting or not knowing or not realizing is this is coming just a few weeks, and by a few, I mean a few weeks, after Congress hauled the CEOs of Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon into fucking Congress to testify on how they are not ripping off everybody and they're a fucking monopoly. So, of course, Epic was going to jump on this. I mean, that was the whole purpose of those 4 CEOs going to Congress, to fucking try and convince our government that they're not a monopoly and they're not ripping off the public.
Now, does the government really
I mean, you got to remember, Epic was well prepared for this. Who the fuck pulls their shit, changes that, and when Apple says you can't do that, they fucking drop a commercial.
Yeah.
They were well prepared for this.
No,
So
they were ready. They used the same, like, you know how you guys are probably familiar with the techniques they use within the live environment of their game, where like it's all like this production and they're prepared. They have assets that have been created ahead of time. They are really good at the live event kind of marketing slash I don't even have a word for it. It's like a live game slash commercial type thing. They use the same tactics here. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew they were gonna do that update. And then when Apple was like, hey, hold on a second, what is this? They were like, check out this commercial, bitch. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing, which is why I don't feel bad for them. And their cries of like, oh, they're trying to take your Fortnite away from you. #free Fortnite. I don't
Fortnite.
Whatever.
Look, if Epic can run a store and charge people 12% and turn a profit, the Epic store is very profitable. They're only taking 12%. Apple, Google, and even Facebook with their fucking store and fees is all 30%. The government didn't like it. They hauled them in for it. Apple was sued last summer over the exact same fucking thing, that they are an illegal monopoly, which technically, if you want to look at it, they borderline real close on a monopoly. Why don't we ask Microsoft about that? Microsoft's been sued how many times as being a monopoly? To the point where they broke up Microsoft internally.
Mhm.
Microsoft
Google's
figured
been
out a way.
sued for a monopoly for Google search.
Yeah, yes. I mean, Microsoft figured out a way how they didn't have to break up their company, but now they have their services divisions, where they're broken up by digital services and software services and cloud services. Same way
I think
Google.
Apple. I honestly think Apple's already segmented that way.
I mean, look at what Google did. We ain't Google no more. We're Alphabet. We're just going to create a company with every letter of the alphabet, and Alphabet is just the shell. So if you're going to sue Google, you have to pinpoint which division you're going to sue, so that you can't steal money from Waymo if you're going to sue Google search. It's fucking brilliant. The greatest capitalistic move ever in the history of a company. Ever. Fucking AT&T, Ma Bell couldn't even figure out how to do it. The government broke their asses up. Google figured out how to do it. And I don't know if Apple's like that. I don't think they have umbrella services.
I don't think so.
I think
No, they have a services division. They have a hardware division. They have
right, but those are still
mobile application division. They have hardware division.
Google might be the only one who created an umbrella for it.
Well, yeah,
that I'm aware of.
they have Alphabet as the quote-unquote shell company.
Right, that's their umbrella. And if you want to sue fucking Google, you got to pick which branch you're going to sue, because you can't sue Alphabet because it's an umbrella. It's brilliant.
I mean, they do get sued all the time.
Sure,
Like
absolutely,
all
almost
the
every
time.
day. Yeah, almost every day.
Yeah.
Somebody
So it's not that hard.
But you have to sue a specific division. You can't just sue Alphabet.
Right. You can't sue Alphabet, but you
Right.
can sue Google, and people do.
Right, but you got to pinpoint where you're suing. I'm suing Google search. Excuse me. I'm suing Google software services, which means if you're suing them, you can't pilfer any money from Google's auto department, Waymo, or Google's fucking navigation department.
YouTube.
Yeah, right. You can't. Right. You can't hurt Google in the bottom dollar. You can only hurt specific divisions of it.
Right.
The
Yeah.
umbrella. It's fucking brilliant. Donald Trump should have done that shit years ago. Instead, everybody looks at him going, well, you fucking bankrupt 7 places. He did the same fucking thing that Google's trying to do. Protect his cash. Now, the
Did
question
they
is,
go bankrupt?
the question is, are they monopolies? Yeah, sometimes going bankrupt is a fucking brilliant move. Why don't we just ask,
Occasionally. Yeah.
why don't we ask Sears and J.C. Penney's how that worked out for them?
I don't know that that's brilliant. They just
Well,
seem like they're losing money.
No, they don't exist, and everybody in the corporation made bazillions of dollars.
Golden parachute.
Yeah, while filing for bankruptcy to walk away. And who's going to come in and swoop it all up? Oh, Amazon. Yeah, we'll buy all of your fucking real estate. Oh, there's more money to make. Yes, beautiful. Sometimes going bankrupt is a beautiful thing. Fucks you for 7 years as an individual, but not as a corporation. Not at all. Doesn't hurt you in the least bit. I guess the bigger question here is does this turn around the government's view, and this very well could, on what they consider to be a monopoly or monopolistic tendencies of a company?
Oh, that's an interesting question. What about what they're doing is really a monopoly. Like, does Google really have a monopoly on search? No, they do not. They offer the best product, right?
Sure.
Does Microsoft really have a monopoly on productivity software? No.
So I think the biggest problem with Google search is how you can get trapped in the Google world. That's what the government was looking at all those 2 or 3 years ago when
Hmm.
they were saying Google search monopolized the search industry. And I think that I shouldn't say I think I know the major factor was how you got stuck in the Google ecosystem. And at any point in time, it was like, oh well, if you want to read this, you got to install Google Docs, or here's this email, and the best way to view it is through Google Mail. Whereas no other search engine does that. Bing/Yahoo doesn't do that. AltaVista's crawlers or whatever the fuck is left over there, they don't do that. I'd say DuckDuckGo, but they just lease their technology from 400 other fucking different spiders anyway.
Hmm.
But with Google, it's like, they always push their product. Microsoft was sued for this for fucking 20 years straight. All you're doing right now, they're going to get sued again because you cannot uninstall the Edge browser out of a Microsoft computer. Excuse me, the Microsoft operating system. You can uninstall the program, but you can't get rid of it completely
Oh.
because it's so baked into other shit. You can't. It's the same thing.
Well,
It's the
I
same thing
mean,
years ago when
Yeah,
Norton.
I've been recently going through a bunch of that. Like you go to open up something and it automatically opens Edge even though you don't have it installed. It's like, "Do you want to go ahead and switch this?" It's like, no."
Sure. When your computer's locked and you shake your mouse and wake it up, and you've got this pretty picture on the screen. And when you go to move your mouse, it says, hey, this is a picture of the Sahara. Would you like to learn more? And you're like, no, I don't want to learn more. I want to log into my fucking computer. So you click. And now you get your login screen. You type your fucking login screen, but you accidentally clicked where that message was to learn more. And the first thing that happens is, boink, Microsoft Edge opens up. But I uninstalled it. No, you didn't uninstall it. All you did was just get rid of the icon out of your
you
toolbar.
hit the icon is what you did.
You can't uninstall it because the libraries that run it are part of the operating system.
Yeah.
So by removing it completely, you break your operating system. It's that
Yeah.
baked in.
That's a
Apple,
big deal.
Apple
get
does
that.
the same thing. Google Chrome OS does the same thing. You can't uninstall Google Browser out of Google OS. You can't do it. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's true. You can't uninstall Chrome from Chrome OS, and you
Right.
can't uninstall Safari
That's right. You can't.
from the what do you
Baked
call
in.
it?
20
What
years
the
ago,
fuck is this?
Microsoft.
OS?
I don't even
Uh,
know where they're at. Pandora.
I don't remember right now. I think it's not Yosemite. It's whatever.
Catalina.
The Mac
macOS
OS?
Catalina.
Right, Catalina. Thank you.
Right,
Yeah.
we moved away from animals and went to salad dressings. That's right. I forget that all the time.
No, mountains.
Mount.
No, no,
Mountains.
no, no. No.
The
No.
next operating system is Big Sur. That's not a salad dressing.
Why? I can order the Big Sur salad right down the block.
You can.
It's got
What's
dressing,
in Big Sur?
everything imaginable. Walnut,
Oh, okay.
everything in the kitchen.
Just
belongs-
everything.
Everything that belongs in a salad. Imagine your Cobb salad, your strawberry walnut salad, your garden salad, your chef salad, all slammed together. That's the Big Sur. Unless you're a Seinfeld fan, then it's just called the Big Salad.
Okay.
But I do think this Fortnite against the big conglomerates, they'll win it. There is no reason, and here's how I think they win it, okay? Apple takes 30%, Microsoft takes 30%. 30% of your sales on your app, 30% of your in-purchase transactions. That's ours for the first year. If you can manage to keep your app alive more than a year, then you know what? You did a good job. It's only 15% now. So I think whoever governs this, whatever top-notch lawyers, or even if this goes straight to Congress, will just turn around and say, you fucking ripped them off. right up front for 1 year at 30%. Now the most you can charge is 15. End of story. Get the fuck out of my court.
I mean, I wouldn't rule that way. I'd be like, read your damn contract. What did you agree to? Oh, okay, get out.
But this is how monopolies get torn apart. Is by the little people going in and going, you're fucking killing everybody with your 30%.
How are they
This is
killing
not
everybody?
how
They're
it
giving
is.
70%.
Because here, look, here's the deal, okay? The Fortnite, this how all this started was Fortnite wanted to put their V-Bucks on sale, 20% discount. Apple said no fucking way. There is no fucking way we're letting you discount your own in-app purchasing. We want our 30%. Fuck you. What they were trying to do was bring more people into the game, make people spend more money during a pandemic. Who the fuck knows what they were trying to do? But they were trying to discount their V-Bucks. So
Okay.
when they were told no, they went and did it on their own. So now that you've thrown us out of your shit, all you've done is hurt the little people. Fuck us. We gave you the 30% for the first year. Now we only have to give you 15%. But we paid your shit. But you fucked everybody else in the ecosystem. And now you're going to fuck us harder because all we tried to do was give our user base a discount. You threw us out of the ecosystem, and now you're threatening to throw anybody and everybody who wants to do business with us out of your ecosystem. You're fucked. That's a major lawsuit, bro. That's a monopoly.
Yeah,
That
I
is
don't know about that.
That is the definitive word of a monopoly. Somebody who controls a system made for other people. It's a monopoly. That's the definition of it.
I mean, again, I don't really understand why that is a monopoly if everyone who purchased this ecosystem agreed to the stipulations that were put forth. And it's not like again, it's not the little guy. It's a giant corporation that makes billions and billions of dollars. I don't feel bad for you. I'm sorry.
But it's you who got fucked. The little guy is you, the player.
Me. I'm okay either way.
The player who wanted to fucking, oh shit, they're gonna sell it 20% off. No, you can't make that transaction. Well, fuck, why? Because Apple's gonna just upcharge it. If we put it on for sale in the Apple store, they're gonna upcharge it back to its original price. That's exactly what was gonna happen. That's why they said, fuck it, release the game update and let you hit their own pay model. The exclusive possession or control of the supply of or trade in a commodity or service. That is a monopoly.
Yeah, but that's not what's happening here.
Sure it is. They're telling them what they can and can't do.
They're telling them that they should do what they agreed to do when they signed the contract. That's not a monopoly.
Okay. I gave you the definition of what
You did, but your definition doesn't fit what you're describing.
It fits the model.
And it also doesn't add up. So if Epic wanted to discount their V-Bucks, whatever it is, 20%.
In-game currency.
And instead of charging 99 cents, they only want to charge 82 cents.
Right.
I don't see the problem in Apple going, okay, fine, we'll take our 18 cents. You get to keep the rest.
No, they wanted their piece of the pie at the original.
They're getting their piece of the pie. They're getting the 30% of the sale.
No, they're not applying the discount.
Why?
They were denying the application of the discount, stating that they wanted their out of $1 regardless.
That's right. You can sell it for whatever you want.
Then in that regard, I'll say Apple's wrong.
God,
Absolutely, I would say Apple's wrong because if I were Apple, I'd be like, all right, well, fine. You want to charge 82 cents as opposed to 99 cents for 20 V-Bucks? I'll take my 18 cents and call it a day. Have a nice day.
Right. They weren't making the mathematical deletion for that. They were taking stock price.
As someone who is, I don't want to say I'm an expert in the Apple iTunes store, but I have a lot of I have more experience than anybody else here dealing with the App Store, submitting apps, getting apps approved, setting up. I've set up in-payment apps and all that. You set the price. You have the ability to go into the app and set the price. If this
Right.
in-app purchase costs 99 cents, it costs 99 cents, or it costs $1.99, or it costs $3.99, $9.99, whatever. I'm setting my price. They're not setting the price. They're not coming back to me saying, you can put this app in our app store, but you have to charge $2.99 for it. They're not saying that. You as a developer determine what costs what.
Unless you want to put it
So
on.
So if maybe I
Epic
can
could have put it
understand-
on sale. Epic could have easily put it on sale. They just had to change their pricing structure and it would have never changed.
Wouldn't have been on sale then. They
Yeah,
Sure
so
it would've.
Did they?
Oh, I
what-
guess,
so
yeah.
I guess what they were trying to do, maybe I didn't get this before, was say, say whatever V-Bucks or whatever. You get 100 V-Bucks for $1, and for a limited time, we're making it half off. So instead of 100 V-Bucks, you get 200 V-Bucks for $1. And Apple said they couldn't do that.
Yes.
Like where is the discount coming into play? Like, because plenty of the apps like my Clash Royale and all that, they throw shit up there on sale all the time, and it
Yeah.
either costs money or it costs gems, and if it costs
Well,
money,
Dude,
it's a sliding scale.
Dude, I understand that's a huge mobile game, but there isn't a 500 million people playing it around the world.
So, okay, so in
Understand it? I'm using it
case-
as an example of
No,
them.
no,
They
No,
put,
I know you
sales
are.
up every day.
That's right, and it's a good example. I get that, but there isn't 500 million people playing it.
okay.
And if there's a 500 million people playing it, why are you crying over fucking 18 cents or 12 cents if that's the matter?
Because for them to discount it and not pay the 30% or the 15% that was required, they had to upcharge they had to change the pricing to be higher than it was to get the discount. So Apple could get their percentage.
I don't
Apple-
really understand. They
I
had
don't
to
understand
change
it
the
either. It's like
price to make it higher.
They were trying to strong arm Apple in order for Apple to give the discount where they could have very easily, via a back end piece of software like every other fucking developer does, adjust their pricing to give the discount.
Okay, Apple is in a world of trouble with this. Not only this, but in the EU also, where they last month, no, June I think it was, they were brought up over the monopoly term that I just brought up. The App Store is a monopoly. End of story. You can debate it whichever way you want. It is a monopoly. Apple,
That's
Apple-
not a monopoly.
sure it is.
You
And
can easily not own an iDevice and not participate.
It's a
It's not
monopoly.
required. You have an option.
Okay. You have an option. That's right.
Yeah.
You have
You
several options.
So,
Yeah.
so you own an Apple device who owns 25% of the market or 1 billion devices, or you own a Google device which has the other 75% of the market. Where's the monopoly? Where is it? Now, how is it not a monopoly? Who else can you buy a phone from?
You can buy a
Yeah, but-
Samsung phone, or you can buy.
Okay, you just said.
Yeah.
How is it a monopoly? How is it a monopoly
Yeah.
when they only have 25% of the market?
They
I
have
can't buy a
billion devices.
Samsung phone with an Apple operating system on it.
Yeah, and I can't
Right.
I can't buy it with a fucking BlackBerry operating system on it either. I think my only choices are iOS or
Yeah,
Google.
but the point is you're coming after a company that within their own ecosystem that everybody knows and understands when they buy the phone,
Mhm.
this is where you're going to get your shit.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That's exactly what I wanted you to say. So, in other words, Apple iOS controls 25% of the global smartphone market. The other 75% is largely controlled by Google.
Mhm.
This means that for over 1 billion people, particularly in the US where Apple's market share is 50%, the only way to install apps is through an app store. Doesn't that
And
gi-
you
doesn't-
just
let me finish. Let me finish. Doesn't that give Apple an enormous influence over the way software is created and consumed?
Well, yeah, they own the. They build the the ecosystem. They built
So
the
they're a
store.
department store, and you have to
So
pay rent
explain
to
to
them.
me now. Explain to me because the argument you made earlier on this show was Google was the same way. You can't go
Sure,
anywhere and
that's
install a
right.
Google app.
They are
Google,
absolutely.
and Google owns 75% of the global market share. Which one would be a larger monopoly?
Well, they got 75% at 1 billion users, also. So there is no
Yeah, but
difference.
both
So
companies
are
are
you
being
saying
taken to
Google
task at this moment.
has a monopoly
Right.
or Apple has a monopoly?
They both do when you think about it.
So you
You've only
can't
got
have two companies have a monopoly.
really
That means
because
there's no monopoly.
if I wanted to make an iPhone, if I wanted to make a cellular device right now with my own operating system, good luck.
Well, yeah, nobody would really.
That's right,
Yes,
because
sir.
a $1 trillion company tried to do it and failed. Microsoft.
Oh well, they had. I mean, I can attest. I at one point in time had a Windows phone.
So did
hated
I.
it.
So-
It was terrible.
Yeah, so and I had an early Windows phone before it was a smartphone. Here's the point, okay? This is how these companies, and I won't even say Apple anymore. I'll just say these companies are a fucking monopoly, okay? They extort 30% tax on developers, which is now subject to antitrust investigations on both sides of the country, east and west. Excuse me, both sides of the world, east and west. Apple's comment is, well, think of us as a department store. We charge you rent and you sell your product. Would you guys agree with that? That's pretty fair to say, right? That's the layman.
Yeah, that's kind of how retail works. This
That's
is
right.
just a digital equivalent.
No, you're wrong. That's not how retail works. You're absolutely wrong. Because
Well,
I can go to any fucking mall and shop in any store and buy clothing.
you can.
Right,
But
but
the
not
store that's
Apple.
carrying the brand that you're buying is paying the department store for the space that
In
you're
multiple
shopping at.
In multiple locations so that everybody gets a piece of the pie.
What?
There's a gap in 7,000 fucking malls. Does one person own all those malls, or are they independently owned by a bunch of different people?
There's probably like 2 companies or 3 that own all the malls in the United States.
Oh, you're on drugs if you think that.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a mall expert.
Okay,
I'm
but
just
the thing
saying,
is, I mean,
if you when you like, I'm just gonna say the department store analogy works because when you go to Bloomingdale's,
yeah,
there's an All Saints area and there's a Gucci area and there's a Gus Van Sant area and there's all these other areas. All of those designers and brands are paying to be there.
but I don't have to shop in Bloomingdale's to get those. I can go to the Gucci store, or I can go to Macy's, or I can go. I can travel to North Carolina and visit the fucking bumfuck mall, which has Gucci product, or I can go to Alaska. Just some fucking
You
asshole.
can. So the equivalent of that is you can, if you really don't want to be a part of the, if you don't want to be a part of it, you can go to individual stores, right? It's
Yeah.
the same thing. If
That's
you
right.
don't want to be part of this ecosystem, you don't
That's-
have to buy this phone. You can just
no,
get an
that's not true.
Android phone and download third-party apps because
It's
you're
the
okay with
same-
that.
It's the same thing there. You can download third-party apps on any device if you know how. The
Well,
point
the
here
difference
is
there
where
is
do you
that
where do you get your apps from?
directly from the person that makes the app. Like Epic is
Yeah.
offering Fortnite as a third-party download
Now
for
it is.
Android devices.
Now it is. It has no choice. It was thrown out of the Apple Store and the Google Play Store.
And whose fault was that?
The point here is it's
Like,
still a monopoly. If Apple wants to
it's not
say,
a monopoly. They
Apple-
had a choice the
look,
entire time.
no, you're wrong. If Apple wants to say we're like a mall and we rent space so you can sell your product, well, I can go sell my product in any fucking mall in America.
If I own a department store and you rent space from me and I
Right.
say, listen, you can do whatever you want here. You just can't be offering, I don't know, green dresses, okay? Because I have my own green dress brand and I don't want any green dresses here. And then you roll up with some green dresses, you bet your ass I'm kicking you out. And then you're going to be like, oh no, they won't let me in Jessica's mall. It's like, yes, bitch, because I told you I didn't want any green dresses here. And you have this contract right here where you told me you weren't going to sell any green dresses, and now you're mad?
And I think the other part you're missing is, yeah, you're right. You can install the app from anywhere. You're right.
Yeah.
But you can't fucking buy anything in it unless it goes through Apple's pay model.
Simon Property Group Incorporated owns the most malls in the United States.
At how many? And that's Simon, yeah, I know. I own their stock.
Yeah, they're the Mills malls and premium outlet centers.
Yeah, it's over 1,000, right?
They currently own or has interest in 386 properties comprising of 244 million square feet of gross leasable area in the United States. Well, excuse me, in North America, Europe, and Asia. So they're also spread way the fuck out too.
Uh-huh.
That would have been my first guess. It would have been Simon Malls.
Yeah.
Simon
how many
Property
malls-
Group.
Anybody want to know how many malls there are in America?
Probably too many.
Okay, in 2017, there were approximately 116,000 malls. It's okay, though. You can't put your product in any of those malls except this one right here.
I was like,
That's
this one even only controlling 386 of those 100,000. So I mean, their number's still a drop in the bucket, considering that it's mainly individual owners. Like, I know that there were 2 malls in Greensboro. One was owned by the Cone family, and one was owned by the Curry Corporation, which is the Curry family, and they were the warring factions inside of Greensboro. You know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they were the Cone Mills essentially developed Greensboro into the town that it became later on in life. They came with Cone Denim, which was in the United States one of the largest denim producers that Wrangler used, Levi used. Like, Cone was the denim company. They basically came in, put their mills down, and built towns around it, like built infrastructure around their mills to educate the kids, to like house the families that needed to work there. Like, they did all of that. And I don't know exactly how Curry Corporation came in on the other end of town and started doing stuff, but like Cone Mills, the north side of Greensboro, Cone developed all of that. Like, the whole north side of town wouldn't even fucking exist if it wasn't for like Cone Corporation.
So I think a lot of what Fortnite as a company is looking at is probably deeply embedded in the EU lawsuit, or I don't even want to call it a lawsuit, but the talks that are happening with the EU government and Apple versus Proton VPN. Okay, Proton VPN has been in the App Store since its inception with absolutely zero problems. Their latest update changed the verbiage of their EULA to say something along the lines of that their software would include the ability to unblock censored websites, which is exactly what a VPN does. It gets you to sites anonymously, then they can't be blocked based on your IP address. Hello, China. Apple flipped the fuck out and told Proton, you take the words out of your EULA or we'll throw you out of the App Store. Bye-bye. The government, or the EU, said that, while this is improper and illegal to leverage market dominance for anti-competitive practices, leveraging this power to suppress digital freedom is simply unethical, quote, end quote. It's long overdue that somebody call out Apple for this behavior. Hence, Proton filed the suit, which now the EU, since June, has been digging through everything. So I'm sure that, fucking Fortnite's looking at this and going, whoa, wait a second. Other countries think that Apple is a fucking tyrant. And all we want to do is not pay the fucking 15% anymore. We're charging 12% in our store. 12%'s fair. It's fair market value. We don't charge you 30 and then 15. No, we just charge you 12. And if you use our products, you can get a 5% discount, a la Unreal Engine. Still sounds like a monopoly to me.
It's not a
Fact-
monopoly.
It's pretty much textbook definition of the word monopoly.
Do you have a choice? Can you go somewhere else?
That makes you a monopoly.
No, it doesn't, because you have a choice and can go somewhere else. I don't get why this is lost on you. It's like really frustrating.
But that's a monopoly.
That's
when you
not a
can't-
monopoly. You
Bullshit.
have a choice.
Microsoft was sued for it years ago. You cannot put antivirus in your operating system because you will monopolize the market and put Norton's out of business.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but I'm just saying, are you talking about, like, are you still talking about Apple?
I'm talking
Having a
about
monopoly?
Apple's a monopoly.
Apple's not a
actually-
monopoly because you have a choice. You can go
Well-
somewhere else. You don't have to purchase their product. There's
Where
no
you
pressure
go?
for you to
Where
do
you
that.
go? You go to Google where you have to purchase your shit out of their store.
Okay, that's not a monopoly.
It's
You
still
just
not a
said
monopoly.
Yes,
you
it
can go
is.
somewhere else. Like, this is just like basic,
Well, there-
like, I don't know.
10
I don't know. I
options.
think it's kind of on the same level of politics right now. We're arguing over the fact that we got a douchebag and a shithead, and just because you got a douchebag and you don't like the shithead, you're happy. But just because the douchebag makes you do something, you get mad and you're like, fuck it, maybe the shithead's not so bad, and I'll go over and I'll fuck with the shithead for a little bit. Like, it's the same like what we're arguing with about our political spectrum right now, that we got Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, okay, you got a choice, but what the fuck kind of choice do you really got?
Yeah, that's a good.
So this
analogy.
is another person trying to become another choice in the market at the
Yeah.
point that they're tired of watching these two douchebag and shithead fucking control everything. Essentially, the two companies together have created a monopoly because they work within the same environment to create the same product to be the same.
And not give you the option of getting it elsewhere.
Right. To lock you
That's
in.
antitrust monopoly.
Yeah, either of these two kind of bind themselves into still isolating you into only their product line.
Oh, hey, J7.
Oh, you have a choice. Do
J-
you want only Apple products or do you want only Google products?
Yeah, let me see. J7,
Well-
you're selling your clothing in your mall over there, and you're making it for sizes for different people. And you're
Yeah.
charging what, $60 for a pair of jeans? Well, I'm gonna take your, I'm gonna make the same fucking product, just like yours. I'm gonna sell it in my mall for $50. You gonna tell me I can't do that?
All right, wait, I have questions for you.
Sure, it's the same
Are
product.
you stealing my design?
Wait a second. I'm selling your product in multiple
Wait,
locations.
you're selling my product?
Sure.
Are you buying it from me?
Who cares where I'm buying it from? I built
Well,
it.
that's
I
my
made it.
question. Where are
Okay,
you buying
so-
it from?
okay, so
Did
here.
you-
Your product can only be sold in two places: Apple stores or Google stores.
Okay.
But I got a brand new store where I'm going to tell you flat out, you can sell your product here cheaper.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you sell it here cheaper.
Cool.
But your other two fucking your other two dealers say if you do that, we'll throw you out and you can never sell product here.
Is that what they're saying though?
This
That's
is
exactly
just
the
like
whole
him. This is just like him
fucking thing.
dismissing the Libertarian Party last week.
Is that what they're saying though? They're not.
He was like, "What's the point of you even being here? Nobody even knows who the
How
fuck
are
you are."
Hey Jess, how are they not saying that? Apple
They're not
said
saying
flat
that.
out,
They're
if
all they're
you
saying
sell
is they
your
want their
product
cut.
over here,
That's all
we're
they're saying.
throwing you out.
If I have my product in Bloomingdale's and in JCPenney,
I can't sell
and-
hamburgers inside of Burger King, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't sell
can't- you
hamburgers
can't
inside
sell
of Burger King.
tacos. You can't sell tacos because I'm Taco Bell, motherfucker. You can't sell tacos.
Right. Yeah,
You
I would
don't know
expect
Taco
not to
Bell
be able to
is
go
so-
into Taco Bell and sell tacos.
Bell. Yeah.
I would expect to be able to go into Taco Bell and not be able to sell tacos. I would especially expect not to be able to buy tacos directly from them and then turn around and try and charge the guy in line behind me a little bit less money for them tacos to get them tacos back. Like, do you understand what the manager would be like? You got to get out of my store, motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but no, you just got to go. I don't even know what this is right now. Just get the fuck out. And that's Apple right now. Apple is looking at this and going, I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to pull here, but if you're going to be doing this kind of crazy shit, just go. Just go. I don't need to deal with your harassment right now. Get out of my fucking store.
I'm sorry. You need to sell your product in our store and in our store only.
So the question boils down to is you're sitting here and you're saying Apple is a monopoly, so therefore
Google
equal being everything, so is Google.
Sure.
Right.
The Play stores and the
So
store.
if Epic is going to put a lawsuit against Apple
It's specifically against
as
the store.
antitrust
Wait.
against the store,
Spotify did the same thing.
how can they in their right mind go into court and say we're suing Apple but we're not suing Google when Google's doing the same thing?
They have it because they've been banned from both stores. We may not just be hearing about a lawsuit that is also being enacted against the other corporation too. It's
Yeah,
possible.
they've been banned.
Yeah, they got kicked out of both stores. And to provide a little bit of flavor here, this is not the first time they've been kicked out of
No.
the Google store.
No,
Absolutely.
for infractions against the licensed agreement that they had settled.
Yeah.
On. And that's what it comes down to.
There's a history of shitbaggery here.
Yeah,
If I were a judge,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you
weaseling little
keep
shithead.
going into stores and doing weird shit and not abiding by your agreements. I don't know that you're in the up and up. You really,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it is
That's
another one of
almost-
those situations where it's just kind of like, all
Yeah.
right, like we see what you're doing, but it's like South Park had a really good one. Like, y'all know Tegrity?
Yeah.
That's the Stan's dad's pot farm is Tegrity Farms. All right, so he had all the clippings of all the leaves. He didn't know what to do with them, and he was like, "We're losing money because our China deal fell through. What are we supposed to do?" And he's like, "Well, what about we take all the swag that we're cutting off, all the product, and let's sell it like as fertilizer or something like that." And he goes by Burger King, and Burger King is selling a plant-based burger. And he's like, "Oh shit, I got all this extra plant. Let's see if I can make a plant-based burger. Tegrity's good too." So he's like, "Let's see if I can make a Tegrity burger." And it tastes like shit, but it does what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? So it's just like the burger. He stood there looking at the guy at Burger King. And he's like, "Man, this tastes like shit. You actually sell these? Like people come in to buy this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, plant-based burger. And he makes his own burger out of the pot cuttings and pulls up outside of Burger King with his grill on the side of it and is like outside. The dude is talking to a customer. He's like, "Yeah, you're trying our Impossible Burger." And you hear Stan's dad from outside go, "Get your Tegrity burger." And he's on the sidewalk of the Burger King trying to sell his plant-based burger. And the dude walks outside. He's like, "You can't do that." He's like, "Why not? You sell burgers here." He was like, "But this is Burger King." He was like, "Yeah."
Here's a statement out of the EU investigations lawsuit. It's 3 small paragraphs, and I'll read them quick, and we'll end this conversation here unless anybody has more further comments. After the European Commission launched its investigation on June 16th of this year, Apple released a statement saying the European Commission is advancing baseless complaints from a handful of companies who simply want a free ride. These comments reveal the callousness of which Apple has hijacked and strangled the creativity that once flourished on the internet. If only a handful of the most powerful companies have complained, such as Spotify, at the time of this writing, it is because Apple's market dominance leaves small developers powerless to object, either fall in line or be removed from the App Store without the possibility of appealing. Apple has now even gone so far as to ban apps from the App Store if they refuse to offer in-app purchases for paid features that are available for purchase elsewhere. In other words, Apple wants 1/3 cut of your sales regardless of whether you want to sell on their platform or not. This is exactly what happened to Proton. See, that was my point, J7. Yeah, you can install an app outside of the two ecosystems. I have a Samsung phone.
You just
I have
can't
the
use it here.
Samsung store. I can install any app I want from the Samsung store, but the minute I go to make an in-app purchase, it's Google Play. How come? Because I got the Samsung App Store.
But that's part of the agreement that you agreed to when you put your app on their store. Like,
Right, because it's a stranglehold.
Right. Yeah, and you're also finding yourself being very compliant to the fact that, oh well, this is just the way things are, and I'll settle in line to these two allocations. Like, there's a little
you
bit
got-
of a fight going on, but it's also a lot of some douchebaggery going on too. You're watching corporations essentially fight it out publicly in front of you, and you find yourself either in the, well, you have a license agreement, so you understand what that's about, but at the same time ignoring the fact that it literally is to relegate a company into only being able to provide services through one company.
you mean, yes, if you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really just want, if you want to have your app on any iDevice, you have to go through Apple's guidelines. Like,
Even if you have the app outside of the App Store.
even if it's outside of the App Store, if you
wanna
want
make
it to be offered through the App Store, you have to fall in line with those guys. With those
Yes.
guys.
No
Yeah.
choice. Otherwise, you're fucked. You're out, blocked. And don't think about. We're going to throw your developer's account away too. Don't think about coming back. Bye bye.
Yeah.
That
But I mean, this is not new, to be honest.
no, it's not.
This has been true for a long time.
Right, and
But-
it's just a continuance of the same fight.
11
Yeah.
years. That's right. But
I
30%.
mean, for the longest time, that's kind of why I preferred the using iPhones in the App Store. They were dicks. They were total dicks. They were just like, yeah, this shit is bugged. So yeah, nope. See you later.
I think this is going to blow up. It's going to get bigger. I think you're going to see a lot of other companies jump back in. I think Proton, which probably Proton Mail is the name of the company, who probably makes the best VPN software used by more people than any other one, including Nordic VPN. I think they're all going to jump right back in the foray of this and go, see, this is what we were fucking talking about. And now somebody big is saying it. You got no choice but to fucking listen now, because otherwise, Thumpin' Loud Corporation is not. They're not going to want to give up 30 fucking % of his Watch Me Game app. You really want to do that? You want to give up 30% to what? So you can charge people $1.15 a subscription instead of the normal 99 cents, or instead of $4.99 a month, you got to charge them $5.76 because some prick is making you.
It's
pay
interesting inside of like that comment, like how it goes to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch on user created content. They don't charge you to put it up there, and you're allowed to make money off of it.
That's right.
But if you make a certain amount of money, they offer you a partnership within the company where they allow you to make additional money, but they're taking a cut of that.
Yes. If you make above and
Like
beyond.
do you know the guy with a face squad?
Yes.
Like, what's his name? He's like one of the top Fortnite players.
Oh, that I'm so out of that relative.
No, I know
Well,
you. I just read this whole article about that. Fuck.
Yeah, so there's this player, right? His name escapes me right now, but he basically, so in the esports world, there are all these like kind of teams, right? And if you're really, really good at one game and you're streaming it and you get some like traction, they may notice you and ask you to like be part of their, league. And there was this one kid. He was really, really, really good at Fortnite, but he didn't have any of the equipment. Like his equipment was crappy. He couldn't afford any of the upgrades. So they were like, "Hey, you're really good. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buy you all your equipment. We're gonna pay you $2,000 a month.
Yeah, they
So
essentially
that,
sponsor him.
yeah, we're gonna sponsor you, and in return,
Booga,
you're
right?
gonna give us 50% of any money that you make from your stream." Which at the time wasn't all that much, right? He could barely afford to pay for his equipment. But then he blew up. Like he got really, really, really big. So that 50%
Kyle,
ended up being a shitload of money, and the $2,000 they were paying him every month, it was like nothing. So now, or more recently, he started trying to be like, "Oh, I really want to get out of this agreement. I didn't know what I was signing. I don't really want to be part of Figure Squad anymore." It's the same kind of thing.
It's
I mean,
FaZe Clan, right?
Yes, Face Clan. Oh my God, I totally had it wrong.
I thought you were
But
talking about Booga at first. Kyle Giersdorf, the kid.
He was
Who's
the kid who went number 1 in the tournament.
Yeah, I thought he had that deal too. He got paid fucking $3 million or some shit like that. And it was
yeah,
it's a nightmare. But yeah, okay, I had the wrong person. Sorry. Thank you
yeah,
for.
I should probably look up his name so I can't keep getting it wrong. Controversy.
There's a whole lot of FaZe Clan controversy, so you might find a whole bunch of different shit going on when you actually find that. But that one,
No, I think I found it.
that one guy, that shit's been going on for about a year now with him, right?
Yeah, it's been going on since last year. And like if you Google it,
Bye,
like
guys.
I did right now. No, don't leave.
I literally have to. I gotta go. Hold on, y'all can continue to talk. I'll just I'm gonna close me down
Okay.
and have Q hit the button
10:30.
at 10:30.
Yeah, because that's when radio goes bye bye.
Okay.
That's the longest we can go.
Okay.
But yeah, the face players.
Yeah, even if you Google it, like there are like it's a big controversy. There's like actual people have like pictures of the contract itself and how it all went down. It's serious. Um, it's the same kind of thing where when they originally went into the agreement, it was one situation, and now it's a shitload more lucrative than either of them thought it was going to be. And now he's pretty much trying to get out of the contract.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
I get it. I get it. I mean, I can understand that. A contract's a contract, right, Ren? I mean, you sign a contract, you sign a contract. I understand that. But when you're strongholded into that contract with no way out or no other options, how is that ethnically right?
ethically right?
Yeah, how is it? That's
No. I mean,
It's all right there up front, especially with Apple when you sign up for a developer account. If you're going to charge for the app, this is what we're taking. You know what you're getting into before you even sign up for a developer account. It's not like it's not in front of your face going.
But you can't sell anywhere else.
But Apple is the most lucrative store. Like, again, you're sitting here going, Apple has made $500 billion. I asked you a question earlier. How much money have they made their developers?
You got to remember, the App Store was supposed to be free, just a minimal charge. Your developer's fee of $99 was supposed to be able to run the App Store. No 30%.
That's because all apps were free in the first 3 years.
So what?
There were no paid apps initially in the iOS App Store from 2007 to I think 2009 or 10.
Great.
And then they came out with, now you can make money from your apps, not just from ads.
No shit. So what? So you got to take 30%.
And here's the deal. We're going to take 30%. You get to keep 70%. And every time Apple comes out, they go, we've made our developers $6.7 billion.
I
We've
get a
made
better-
our
I get a better
developers
deal from the fucking loan shark.
$300 billion.
And originally, there were no, just to go along with that, microtransactions as part of those apps, like in-app purchases, only became
Didn't
a thing
exist in
probably
the past
around.
like 3 years, 3 to 5 years maybe.
It
In-app
only became a
purchases.
thing like maybe 8 years ago, I want to say. So it's not really something that was built into the original blueprint for what the App Store was.
I think in-app purchasing has been around a hell of a lot longer than what you're thinking.
In-app purchasing, well, I remember the first thing I bought as an in-app purchase was money for. Do you guys remember Infinity Blade? Well,
Yes.
Yep.
actually made by Epic.
Yes. Epic. When it was Epic Games.
Yeah. Can I
Right.
tell you how much I fucking loved Infinity Blade? Oh my.
I loved Infinity Blade until it was the same thing every single time.
But that was the
Right.
point of Infinity Blade.
Yeah, but you went through the battle and you played Infinity Blade 1, which was great. I played Infinity Blade 2. After Infinity Blade 2, I was like, it's the same mechanics. Like the backstory was the only thing, or the storyline was the only thing, but like the actual battling was all the same shit. It's like part of the reason why I hate RPGs on mobile is because they're all the same shit. You go in, oh, you got this guy and this guy and this guy you got to fight now. Okay, do you want to auto battle this or do you actually want to battle this? And it gets to the point where like auto battle, give me my money. Auto battle, give me my money. Like it just didn't hold me personally
Okay.
the attention.
So yeah, I think the first time I bought anything as an in-app purchase was with Infinity Blade. Like I wanted to get like a really cool set of armor or something, and I was like, fine, I'll fork over $10 or whatever it was. So I don't know. I think that was probably like in 2008. I want to say. So that's, I don't know, like 12 years ago. Shit. Damn.
In June 10th, 2013, Apple paid out $10 billion on its 5th birthday of the App Store to developers.
Wow.
That was in 2013. In 2018, 12 years old, Apple has paid out way more than $100 billion to developers.
Wow, that's crazy. Wait, no, that's a lie. I didn't do that in 2008. I probably did that in like 2011. So it's been about like 9 years. I'm gonna say.
So I mean, paying out $100 billion to your developers. I mean, if it's the whole idea of going back to the mall concept. Like me, I go to a mall. I go to a few select stores. I go to the Lego store. I go to the Van store. Only place I can go and buy Lego at the mall is the Lego store. Only place to get certain things.
Toy store. Any toy store. KB Toys and Hobby. Any toy store.
They don't exist at the mall anymore.
Yeah, they do.
No.
KB, there's a KB Toys
Not
and
Freehold.
Hobby. Well, no, not Freehold, but you can go right here in Menlo. There's a KB Toy and Hobby. You can go to Staten Island. There's a KB Toy and Hobby. You can buy Lego there. You can buy Lego at Hobby Lobby. That's not even
saying like I go to using your mall analogy.
That's a mall too. Strip mall's a mall. It's considered a mall out of the 316,000 that are in this country.
Yeah, I'd like to see how quickly that number is going to dwindle, considering all the vacancies I see everywhere.
All right, here's the other problem, and it'll be the last.
Okay, 2009. That's when in-app purchases were introduced.
2009. You guys are talking a few years ago. 2009 is a fucking decade ago.
That's true.
I
but
mean,
at that point, apps were
removing ads, full game unlock, update to the Pro Edition, and
that came later. But at that point, all apps on the Apple Store were free, and they added in-app purchases so they could, open up a revenue stream, I guess.
That's right. And what Apple saw in the revenue stream, and this is where the greed and the monopoly is, okay? And Ren, I know you'll agree with me here, okay? At least I hope you would. I'm going to give you the option to subscribe to my magazine on a monthly or yearly basis. It's your choice. You can pay by the month, or you can get a discount for a year. Okay? Maybe I can't afford to pay the $116 for the year, so I'll go month. Apple takes 30% of every transaction.
Yeah. I don't see the problem with that. Google does the same thing.
Sure, I'm not singling out Apple. They're both stores are a fucking monopoly. They have
But okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. When you go to the mall and say you go to Vans, and you walk into a Vans store. Now, I worked retail. I worked in a sporting goods store for many a year, and I know what our markup was. Our markup was 30 to 50%.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to the mall and
Right.
buying the brand new pair of Vans that drop, and they're $99.95.
Right.
I full well know that
You
if
can go
I
to the
wait
mall,
3
get it
months and I
$5.
go down to the outlets, I can get those same sneakers for $45.
You don't have
I
to wait.
know that.
They sell them right there the same day.
Not at the outlet. You are not getting the brand new sneaker at an outlet the same day that it's dropping in a brick and mortar store or online. That's not happening. An outlet is exactly that. Here's this overflow stock that we made too much of that's not very popular but appeals to some people, and we'll put it in this store and sell it for a discount. We're still going to make money on it. We're only going to make 20% profit on that pair of sneakers as opposed to the 50% or 60% profit. It's all the same shit. You go to the retail store, you know you're getting gouged when you go and buy pasta and you're spending $1.29 for a box
Sure.
of something that's not worth more than 12 cents.
Sure.
But you still pay your $1.29 because you got to have your Bertolli.
You can make it at home for about 69 cents a pound. Absolutely.
But you're still
Like
going to pay for your Bertolli because you don't want to take out the pasta machine and you don't want to mix the flour and break out the mixer and have to clean up and have to do all that. Whereas you could go buy your pound of pasta for $1.29, your Bertolli, that's worth 12 cents, and stick it in a pot in 9 minutes, have dinner.
Yeah, man. 6 if you want it al dente, but yeah. Yeah, no, I get your point. I totally get your point.
You know, this is everywhere. The fact that this is a thing and they're singling out people, companies,
and I can't
that have
agree-
created an online marketplace, and just because the online marketplace is successful,
Yeah.
it's a problem.
It's
That's
not
why
no,
this
no, no,
is
no,
a
no, no, no,
problem.
no. You're missing the point. It look, it's not a problem that it's successful. It's a problem that if I want to go outside of my two options, you won't let me. You throw me out of yours because I want to do business with a guy who's only going to charge me 12%. It has no effect.
But that's not what's happening. They're not
That's
kicking you out because you're doing business with someone else. They're kicking you out
exactly
because
what happened.
you're.
We're kicking you out because you broke our rules.
What?
You broke the contract you signed.
Yeah, which was
This is what you agreed to.
which was not to sell anything outside of our store. Do not go to a
No,
competitor.
the agreement was that you couldn't bypass their payment system. Not you sold it outside. If they had sold it in a different way, it would have been
the
okay.
payment system is basically saying you can't sell your product anywhere else.
They can though. You're talking about the currency thing again.
Talking about Fortnite period. They're
Okay,
throwing
you
out
can
two
get
stores.
Fortnite elsewhere. You understand
But-
that, right?
Right, but you can't do anything. You can't make a purchase. Done.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
What do you mean you can't make a purchase? Like if you download Fortnite on your PC, you can't make a purchase. If you download Fortnite on your Xbox, you can't make a purchase. If
When-
you
when-
download
we're not
Fortnite,
Now you're just throwing shit into an argument that doesn't exist. We were
oh
never
yeah,
talking-
what are you saying?
we're
Like you
never
can't
talking
make a
about-
purchase where? Like
never
you
talking about PCs or consoles. We were talking specifically handheld phone devices,
Okay.
Apple Store, Google Store. You
Okay.
can't make purchases outside of those two entities, period. It's against the rules.
right. So you can't make
So you're gonna
in-app
tell me-
purchases that take people outside of that ecosystem.
Right.
That makes
So,
sense.
so in other words, you, me, I'm Google. Ren is Apple. J7 is her own fucking entity, a brand new app store. If you do business with them, you can never fucking do business with me. And you know what? I'm going to speak for Apple over there, and you can never do business with them either.
But that's not what's happening.
What drugs did you smoke today? That's exactly what is happening. They're being
Okay, so
told
it's the
you
reason
can't
they got
sell
kicked.
your product outside of
It's the
Apple and
reason
Google.
they got kicked off the Apple Store that they were offering Fortnite elsewhere. That's not the
Yes,
reason.
in
The
their own
reason
store.
is they violated the agreement of the Apple Store, which is to say you can't offer in-app purchases that take you outside of the store.
Oh, so
That
I
is what they
can't sell
violated.
my
Not
product.
you're selling it somewhere else.
I can't sell my product anywhere but in your store.
No, that
I
is
make
not.
what? Hello? That's
What?
exactly what you just told me.
You're saying that because you can't have in-app purchases take you outside of the app
Yeah.
and bypass the existing
Bypass what?
agreement.
I can't
Then-
sell my product wherever
So wait, let me ask you this.
I don't
Let me put
understand.
it
Don't see
let
the
me
why.
put it plain and simple.
Yes.
If what difference does it make to you, the consumer, if I'm going to go and spend my 99 cents for V-Bucks, 20
Right.
V-Bucks, because we know you're getting raped for what you buy anyway.
Well,
And I'm
yeah.
spending my 99
99
cents
cents
for
is
my
cheap.
20 V-Bucks, and I'm paying it easily through my app store where I can look at my phone, double click a button, goes, okay, great, you want to buy this? Yes, please. Click, done. Versus paying my 99 cents by clicking on a link that's going to take me to a website to go do a completely different transaction.
At a
Which
cheaper
are
price.
you as a consumer? No, it's the same price.
No, it wasn't.
Same price.
No, it was not at the point. Okay, I
I'm
get what you're
just
saying.
using it as an
Yeah.
argument. At the same price, you want
Sure.
to break up an ecosystem where it's stupid simple, like for you and your Android marketplace, use your fingerprint, complete purchase, done, downloaded. You're doing what you need to do in under a minute. Whereas this system that Epic is bitching and moaning about, that they want to do their own pay system, now I got to go click on the button, which is going to pop a web browser on every fucking smartphone. I don't give a fuck who makes it.
That's right. Whatever phone. That's right.
And then I'm going to have to go grab my wallet, pull out my credit card, put in my information, click a button, wait, and go, okay, we'll send you an email when we've applied your V-Bucks to your account. All right, 5 minutes later, I get my email, I click on it, it goes and validates, does whatever it has to do, and I get my V-Bucks. Whereas I wanted my instant gratification as a consumer, not as a corporation.
Right.
Which is better for the consumer?
Okay. I got you.
You're paying the same amount of money no matter what, but introducing another layer of
But the developer's not. That's the whole point here. The developer's not.
What do you mean?
Now, mind you, you brought up the whole thing about Epic paying people, only taking 12%. Epic owns this game, so Epic wants all of their money as the bottom line.
Okay,
They don't want to pay anybody.
No, that's not true. That is not true.
They don't want to pay Apple a percentage. They want to keep their money. That's why they introduced their own pay system, which is a breach of contract.
They've had their own store since 2018. This isn't.
They don't have an app store.
Look, yes, they do. Yes, they have their own store. They
a mobile app store.
I don't understand. Like,
all right,
why
Jason,
we're like arguing for breach of contract and saying things like,
here's the deal.
oh, well, you can't sell things elsewhere because, then this multi-billion corporation will get to keep all their billions. Like,
here's the deal. Here's the deal, okay? Here's how this works, and it's real fucking simple. You develop an app. You submit it to the store. You want to have in-app purchasing. You want to sell coins, V-Bucks, stars, gems, whatever the fuck it is, okay? You got your options. You're going to sell 99 cents worth. You're going to sell $4.99 worth. You're going to sell $9.99 worth. You're going to sell $19.99 worth. And then if you're a greedy motherfucker, you've got your $59.99 and your $99.99 packages. That's not by your choice. That's by the App Store's choice. They tell you the price ranges of what you can do. You determine how many V-Bucks, gems, coins, whatever the case may be, falls into that, right? You follow me so far?
I thought you got to set your own prices.
No, you do not get to set. You get to set your own prices with inside of a set schedule. Here's your schedule. I just gave it to you.
Okay.
So you may have the option of a $3.99 or a $4.99 or it's somewhere in there, but it's set. Here it is.
Right. Okay.
Now you next week, 4th of July, we're gonna have a sale. Okay, it's 4th
Yeah.
of July. Everything's 74% off. 7/4. Everything's 74% off. You, as the developer of the game, still have to pay Apple the 30% on the amount of the transaction number. If you're selling the 100 coins for 99 cents, they're getting 30% of 99 cents, even though you're only selling it now for 29 because it's on sale.
So you're only charging 29?
Yes, you're charging 29 cents, but you still got to give Apple 30% of 99 cents as if the item was never on sale. You have to do the same thing with Google also.
Oh,
What
okay.
Epic wanted to do was to circumvent all that. Fuck you. We want to give our people a discount of 20% and not pay you the fucking 30% on the original purchase price.
So are these rules for everybody though? Are
You-
they
part of your
okay? So then whatever. I still don't feel bad for you because these
Alright.
rules apply for everybody. I don't.
I get it. They apply for everybody. It's part of the EULA. But when you want to put something on sale, you either take the hit and pay Apple more money for the product that you're trying to put on sale. In other words, yes, J7, you can sell your product in my store. You only want to charge people $30 for the jeans. I'm still taking commission as if you were selling them for 60. Fuck you.
I can't say that I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that. As a business owner, you would never do that. If you did, you were a stupid fucking business owner.
I would just be like, you do what you want. I
Oh,
still
yeah.
get
I'm going to sell
the
10
percentage
million
that
of
we
these.
agreed upon, and you can because then you could just be like, you know what? Fuck everything. I'm just gonna sell everything for $1. Goodbye.
You're going to sell everything for $1, and you're going to give them their percentage.
Of $1.
No,
right?
not of the dollar.
That's
No.
what I'm saying. I'm saying
No.
if you don't, then there's no way for you. Like if I'm the business owner and you're renting space from me, and you're saying I'm gonna charge instead of $100, I'm gonna charge $50.
Right.
I still want my percentage as if you're selling it for $100.
That's
Because
right.
we agreed this is what you were gonna pay, and this is the cut I was getting of that.
No,
So-
no. I already paid you rent of $99. Who are you to tell
We
me?
agreed that I was getting a percentage off of
Well-
your sales.
I paid you rent.
Okay, but did we
$99
agree on me
and
getting a
who the
percentage
Who
off
the
of
fuck are you
sales
Tell
based
me
on
where
a
I
scale?
can or can't put items on sale. That's
Okay.
what it's saying.
Did we agree that you were giving me a percentage of
Yes,
your sales based on the scale?
sure.
Okay, then that's what you're giving me. I don't
Well,
care what you sell it for.
I can't put anything on sale. I can't make any money. I can't put
Well,
anything
that's
on
your
sale.
fault. You fucked up.
No,
Sorry.
that's your fault for fucking me over.
You fucked up. What are you doing? Did we
It's-
not agree on this?
It's
Were
no
you
problem.
blind?
I'm
Did you
sell
not
it
read
in
it?
my new store and fuck you. And now
All
you're
right,
gonna
you can leave my
kill
store
yourself.
then. Be
Like-
out.
I'm curious as to how deep this rabbit hole goes because it's we're talking, like I said, we're talking Epic Games, which is huge. It's Fortnite. It's Rocket League. It's Unreal Engine. This is huge for both parties. And I think who really stands to lose the most could be Apple out of all this. They could be talking about taking over $1 billion hit.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna see who blinks first. I'm very curious. I feel like
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you right now that August 28 hits, Apple will deactivate all that shit.
Oh,
They
yeah.
will throw that salvo.
Oh no shit.
Like
They've
Epic Games is sitting here right now going, yeah, they're not going to do anything.
Oh no, they're not. Believe me, they're well prepared for it. Trust me. If they were well prepared to run a fucking commercial that didn't look like it was their video game, that it was shot 3 weeks beforehand and post-produced, they're ready for what's next. They're ready.
I think the crux really is we need to get true honest numbers from Epic in regards to Fortnite.
Yeah,
Because
like
I
what?
really truly believe they have invested so much money and development time. You're not going to find real numbers on the internet. They are not going to exist.
I'm just
But
going.
real, true, daily active users, I guarantee you that is down. Yes, maybe people played it. I know outside of our circle of people, probably about 20 other people that have played Fortnite, and never once did they drop a penny into it. They played the game because it was free to play. They could play a game that was fun, that they could play with their friends and do whatever they wanted to do, and it didn't cost anybody anything. Now, all of a sudden, they came up with all the microtransactions of buying V-Bucks so you could get skins, or you could get a new weapon, or you could unlock this, or you could unlock that, or to get this special feature in the season finale, or however the fuck that they're structuring what they're doing. I don't think their numbers are where they need to be to sustain the model, particularly of the game.
I don't know. You're talking about 10 cent now. I mean,
I'm just strictly sitting here going, this is very much like a company that is desperate, that they want to keep all of their money. They will do whatever they can to try and keep all their money. They're trying to sign up companies like Spotify to come on board with them because of the spat Spotify and Apple have had, which has never had anything to do with the 30%. Spotify has never had an issue with that.
why are they
Spotify's issue was
now for that?
Spotify's issue was, we want to be on the HomePod. We want to be a default music player on your phone. The same argument that went back around with the whole Microsoft thing about, on an iPhone, the default browser is Safari. You can install Chrome. I
Yeah.
can now, in this version of iOS 15 or whatever the fuck it is, 14, I can make Chrome my default browser.
Oh,
They
welcome to
capitulated to that.
Okay. Love that shit.
And in the upcoming operating system, you can set Spotify as a default music player on any iOS device. They
How much?
came to an agreement. They sat down. They talked about it. I'm sure money changed hands for licensing rights and whatever it might be, but everyone ended up happy. And the fact that Epic's trying to get Spotify on board because they feel that they don't have a strong enough argument, so they need other companies to come on board to help them out, speaks even volumes more on how struggling they are. At the end of the day, it's a legal binding contract. Everybody signed it, everybody agreed to it, and Epic didn't even come to Apple going, hey, we're doing this. They just flat out put in a new payment system, bypassing, breaking the contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we're sitting here crying wolf saying, well, Apple's a monopoly and blah, blah, blah. And so is Google. And Google's like, well, you're out. I'm pretty sure Google kicked them out of the App Store before Apple did.
They have no. They both went at the same time. They have no choice. They have their own binding agreements. We'll charge 30%. You charge 30%. If you raise your price, we'll raise our price. That's a binding agreement between the two companies. That's a fucking corporate monopoly right there. And I don't think Epic is worried about money since they're pretty much owned by 10 cent. It's not a money thing. I mean, unless you want to point fingers to the Chinese.
I mean, how many people do you How many people do you're still on the Xbox world? You hop on your Xbox. How many people are playing Rocket League compared to how many people were playing Rocket League?
Between Rocket League, Fortnite, I would say good 40% of my friends list of 186 people, I believe it's 186, are playing those two games. The other ones are the newest little space fucking Star Trek type of game, or Destiny, or PUBG. Any kind of battle royales. I really don't.
I really think I still think it's a money play. I mean, how long do you think Tencent's going to let them go and be like, yeah, you're losing money for us now? You had a great game, you did nothing for it, and you need to either make money or get the fuck out.
I mean, Tencent is the FANG of China. mean, there's only 3 stocks.
Oh,
in,
now you brought up China. How far before the administration comes on board and goes, you can't play Fortnite anymore because of their privacy practices?
they're already looking at that. Why do you think they went after WeChat after they went after TikTok? Oh wait, by the way, WeChat's owned by Tencent also. So is TikTok. By the way, in case you don't know anything about Tencent, League of Legends, Alibaba, Venditti Group,
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard,